welcome back to Pixels and Pints, where we will be talking shit, as usual, about all our favourite TV shows, movies, comic books,
podcasts? Do we ever
music?
talk about other podcasts?
We never talk. Well, sometimes we do. No, very, very rarely. I think that pretty much covers it. Joining me tonight, as always, is the ever venerable Tom.
I'm not vulnerable, you fuck.
Maybe a little insecure.
My small penis.
Wow. And the ever lovely Dan.
Oh, ever lovely. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yep.
Oh, so you give him the nice one. All right, I see how it is.
I said venerable. You need to Google that shit. Not
I
vulnerable.
I can't spell.
Anyway. And yeah, that's us. We're going to be trying some Aussie Craft Beer while we talk some shit about our favorite pop culture topics.
Things and shit.
Things and shit. We've been doing this too long. We're kind of getting complacent with the intros. It's like, yeah, welcome to the show. Listen to our shit.
Yeah, got to admit, that wasn't your best one, but that's fine. We'll let it go. Yeah.
Through to the wiki.
That's right. I forget where we are halfway through the episode, halfway through the intro anyway when I do it. I think about it. Every time I know I've got to do it, I go, I'm going to get this one. This is how it's going to roll out, and I'm going to nail it this time. And I fuck it up about a sentence in, so always get sidetracked.
I get complacent because I got it down so well at like in my head at a point where I could just blurt it out at any given time without thinking that I've stopped thinking about it, and then suddenly I need to do it, and it's like I trip over my own fucking words. But then this is what happens when you do it after work. Anywho.
Well, that's riveting for the listeners. I hope you all enjoyed that.
Just give them yet another reason to like and subscribe.
Oh.
So we're going to kick off.
He got it in early. First 5 minutes.
3 minutes in. Wow. Yeah, well done.
Let's kick off with some beer reviews. I think we'll just try and get the show on the road, basically.
Let's kick it down the street.
Steamroll through. Has anyone tried their beer yet?
I have.
Yours look like milk.
Yes,
Tom?
I'm drinking imported Scandinavian breast milk.
Jesus Christ, what is that?
And what do Scandinavian breasts taste like, Tom?
Lemons. Let me tell you, because I'm drinking 6 Strings hard lemonade. I'm not actually having a beer. I thought I'd change it up.
Nice.
This is an alcoholic lemonade made with fresh lemons, and it is fucking lemony. It's great. It's really good.
Lemony fresh.
Like old school homemade lemonade with a nice alcoholic kick. It is 4%, and it doesn't actually say. I would really like to know. Oh, here we go. It contains water, lemon, sugar, juice, and alcohol. Water, lemon juice, sugar. Jesus Christ, read that wrong. Sugar juice. It contains sugar juice, everyone. Yeah, so I'm interested if it's like an actual brewed, like some seltzers are actually brewed. They use like a corn like maize base for that, or if it's just, hey, we zested up a fuck ton of lemons. Let's pour a bottle of Smirnoff into it and hope for the best. Yeah,
I suspect with that list of ingredients, wouldn't they have had to have added the alcohol separately?
I think so. Yes,
because they're missing some key components that are required to make.
Yeah, it's a hard lemonade. It's ethanol added to lemons and sugar.
I love it. I think it's great. It's really nice. It's just like, I really like that old school lemonade. Like, but if you want to hear my top 5 lemonades, number 1 is definitely the original Schweppes lemonade. Like, there's nothing past the Schweppefessence. But this has so much of that really nice lemony zest to it. It does look like almost milky, like
it does. Well, I was half joking, but it did kind of look milky. What's the CO2 level like?
Oh, it's vibrant. It's like the head's dissipated. Yeah, it is effervescent. Actually, it's Schweppefessent. Like the head obviously dissipated so quickly because of all the lemon juice in there.
Yeah.
There's no protein in it to create a head. So.
It's just more traditional lemonade wasn't carbonated. Like the old school lemonade wasn't carbonated.
This is carved. This is bright and bubbly and great. I'm giving that 4.5.
Yeah, right.
That's fantastic. That's a real summer winner. I would definitely wouldn't think twice about putting away a 4-pack of those on a hot summer's day. Would absolutely disappear.
Yeah, cool.
What are you drinking, Dan?
I have got a New England black Italian Pilsner, Marmo. And other
Made by
than
whom?
New England
Was it
Brewing.
One Drop?
New England Brewing.
Oh, New England Brewing. Sorry.
New England Brewing.
I did that a few weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll shut the fuck up then. Was it
No.
the one that I wasn't on?
Maybe.
Did you really?
Yeah. I raved about it. I'd love to hear your... No, go.
Sorry, I've got
Stop
Indy
clicking at
in
the
with
dog.
me and she's just fucking wandered off.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's really good. It's got a really nice light roast, like black malt character to it. So there's very little coffee or chocolate characters to it. It's got the black malt character to it. I think it's got a really nice kind of herbal hop character to it. It's only 4.5. It's 29 IBUs. I would have liked a bit more bitterness, but I think I say that a lot about most things these days.
Almost every beer.
For the life of me, I cannot tell you anything that is written on the back of this can because the text on the back, I swear, is a fucking
Silver on
millimeter.
black?
No, it's a fucking millimeter big. It's
Right, okay.
absolutely tiny. And with the amount of light I've got in here, there's absolutely no way.
Yeah, I had to turn my light around to read the back when I... Yeah.
We're all for winter style in our damn cold small town. Something last year wasn't going to do. So we've delivered a black version of our Italian pills. Big herby aromas, tease out hints of crusty dark bread and roasted malts delivered in a brilliant dark pour with balanced bitterness.
Well, at least I know I'm not talking out my arse.
29 IBU, 4.5%.
Yep. I think it's really good. It's really fresh, and the way that they've used the malt and the light herbal hop character is bang on. I think it's wonderful. I would very happily drink a 6 or 4-pack or whatever they come in of that. It's really nice. Full disclosure, I did get this for free, but not from the brewery, from the artist. So, yeah, lovely, absolutely lovely.
Nice. Out of 5?
Let's give this a 4.75.
Yeah, right.
You know what? It's super dry as well. It's got almost a. It's not a powdery dryness, but it makes your mouth go quite sort of tannin dry, which is really, really lovely. A little bit more bitterness.
You always say that too.
Let's dial that up to about 35 IBUs.
Just a bitter old man.
Yeah, I am.
Aren't we all?
There's no doubting that. But yeah, wonderful. Really enjoyed that. I am a little dirty. I've only got one. But yep.
Cool.
What are you drinking, Pete?
I am drinking Gypsy Fox Pink Boots. Hopocrisy. What is it? Hopocrisy Nepa or Nepa, rather. It's a New England pale at 5%.
So it's got the Pink Boots hop blend in it?
Doesn't tell me.
Oh, I assume that's what it is.
I think it is, yeah.
Yep.
I would assume so too. It's there's literally nothing on the can other than the mandated government bullshit about pregnancy warning. Apparently the Australian government's currently talking about whether or not they add a cancer risk warning.
Let's not cover that. We'll cover that down the track when there's
next.
More
There's going to be
information.
fucking plain packaging like cigarettes.
That's the kind of the way they're trying to spin it. Yeah,
fucking nanny state bullshit.
When we get some more information on that, we'll do a.
I reckon we let just
a rave and upload rave.
Pete go rogue. Let's just let Pete go rogue with no information. I think that's the best thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't realize Pink Boots was, and there's nothing on Untapped either. So I looked it up. There's literally no information about this beer. So to me, it's. I mean, look, it's not that hazy. It is hazy, but it's not. It's kind of where you would expect. I'm trying to find the right direction here. It's kind of where you'd expect a New England pale as opposed to a Nepa to go. It's certainly got some pithiness to it. It's got a good kick. I don't know anything about the Pink Boots hop that you're talking about, but
Pink Boots Society is a female-led brewing like scholarship.
No, it's a group.
Yeah. And they developed their own hop blend with, I'm assuming, HPA.
No, it's done through Yakima.
There we go.
Okay,
it's done through Cryer, and they every year they release it in sort of January, February. It's a limited run, and it's a hop blend picked by the group members, and you can buy it up and
So when you say
Make
hot
beer
blend, so they might say this year it's going to be 40% Centennial and 20% Chinook and whatever. It's obviously not that here. But
the mechanics behind it, I don't know, but yeah, it's not a specific variety.
Okay,
it's a blend.
Okay, yeah, all right. So I actually do get quite a lot of the Centennial style of flavor profile out of it. It's quite bright. There's something almost, and it's going to sound negative, but it actually isn't. It doesn't detract from the beer. There's something almost soapy at the end of the palate, if that makes any sense.
It does, yeah.
But it's not unpleasant. So I don't know. It's a good starting beer at 5%. It's kind of mid range, exactly where you want a pale to be. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4. Doesn't kick me in the nuts. But it's a solid put together beer.
So the 2023 is the 7th annual release of it, and I can't even pronounce the first bloody hop on it. AHTA. I'm going to put it in the chat because I'm just going to fuck this up.
You were doing so well with the spelling part.
Yeah, sure. I know.
You even failed that one.
When are you guys? Yeah. When are you guys pronounce
2023. I was going to.
Artenum,
Eldorado, HBC 638. So an experimental and Idaho.
I knew
7.
I could taste some of that. And Idaho 7. Okay. So I was way off with Centennial then.
Eldorado might be a child of Centennial.
I appreciate your attempts to make me sound less wrong. Let's go with that.
Let me find out the lineage of Eldorado. Eldorado.
It's just got that really brightness. That brightness you
gold, isn't it? Eldorado. Great film.
Fuck me. All right, moving on. Let's kick off with some news.
We interrupt this broadcast with some breaking news from the front.
I'd rather talk about Eldorado. What a fantastic animated film that is. Anyway.
You have to do it in the newscaster voice.
All right. Well, coming back in. The Fallout TV show is given a release date, 12th of April 24, via a Pip-Boy ad on X/Twitter. That's the funniest thing about the changing it from Twitter to X is that having a Twitter subscription.
Wrong.
Well, yeah. But having a Twitter subscription an account and then getting emails from Twitter, and they still have to go X, formerly known as Twitter, in the email.
Yeah, but I mean,
because otherwise it'd just be like, well, that's a porn email, so that's not going through. Yeah.
Well, TAFCAP had that problem the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Well, until he was rebadged to Prince again.
Yeah, I was going to say he was always the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah. TAFCAP.
Yeah,
and even fucking Eminem made a joke in one of his earlier lyrics about the white boy was suspenseful ever since Prince turned himself into a symbol. Anyway, some random.
Please never rap again.
That wasn't me rapping. Fuck you. That was me reading lyrics. Motherfucker. You don't want to hear me rap.
What happened to not getting hung up in the news and wasting time? Point 1.
Pete starts singing Eminem lyrics.
Yeah,
that's going to fucking derail the show.
So yes, there's a Fallout 4. It's 12th of April 24. There's I put the video link in the notes there, but it doesn't show much. It's literally just the Pip-Boy animation, and he types on his little computer, and then it just brings up the date. So
look, if they take a page from fucking The Last of Us, then I'm all over that shit. I love a good post-apocalyptic TV show. If they
give it a shot.
Sorry.
Yeah.
If they go down the path of Walking Dead, where it's just, then it's
17 seasons and a movie later kind of thing. Yeah.
It won't be Last of Us though, because the tonal difference of Fallout is completely different. It's never going to be that serious.
No, but when it's not so much the tone; it's more the appreciation for the original source material, the respect for the original source material. Because even Last of Us, the TV show, deviated. That's how we ended up meeting Ellie's mother, which you never met in the games.
Well, there you go. Anyway, we don't know what's happening in the Fallout TV show, but it's coming out 12th of April.
And yet we got 3 minutes of talk out of it.
Next little point. This one I put in for young Dan over here. Return to Moria has been delayed on the PS5. It's releasing 11 days later than the PC version.
So I've got my copy. It finished downloading 2 minutes before I had to fucking log on here.
There we go. So, yes, 5th of November for the PS5 version, but it released last night on PC. The 24th of October for those playing at home and keeping track of us via some sort of calendar-like thing.
I've got in my Are You Winning, Son? Sad Dan didn't get to play Return to Moria.
Sad Dan. Sad Dan is sad.
Sad Dan.
Now Pete needs to superimpose my face on that sad cat.
Well, there's the cover art done.
Yeah. Sad Dan is sad. There's the episode title.
I can have cheeseburger.
PS5 Slim. So PS5 Slim is coming out. I think the most interesting about this is the fact that it is releasing with a removable disk drive. So even if you buy the digital version and then later choose to play something on disc, you can go and buy. Let me get you the pricing there. If you paid 679 AUD for the PS5 digital edition, just for a cheeky $160, you can get a little Blu-ray disc drive to clip on. I don't think it would be backwards compatible with the compatible with.
That's a word.
It is. With the original digital edition, purely because the new PS5 Slim has 4 faceplates as opposed to 2. So I think that's the only.
So they can charge double the amount for coloured plastic while suing anyone else who makes anything that even resembles a faceplate.
Yes. Well done to them. But yeah, so there's the PS5 with the disc drive. The new Slim one is $800 Australian. The digital edition without a disc drive is $680. If you want to buy a disc drive separately, it's $160. And the new vertical stand. So this is, you know how it came with that little, like that's not being included anymore. If you want to buy the PS official, no, it's giving you a little one little kickstand thing in it. If you want to buy a vertical stand to stand your PlayStation upright, that's going to cost you $50.
Bullshit. $50 for a piece of plastic.
$50 for a piece of plastic. Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Oh.
So my question is, do you think my new inbox, never been used PS5 original will go up or down in value when it's released?
Well, they're not improving any of the. Actually, no, they are improving the solid state drive. It is increasing in size.
Yeah,
it's going up from about 800 gig to 1 terabyte.
So I'll probably just sell mine for $600. Yeah, I only still have it here. It's actually literally just off camera here. It's still in the original JB Hi-Fi bag that stretched as I dragged it home. I'm just fucking lazy. I just need to put it up.
The stats on it, it's 30% lighter in terms of the weight of the actual console. And then there was something about I
figured that's what you meant. Not they dialed up the white on the white paint.
No, it's 30% whiter and 100%
lighter.
Cooler. No, it's not. It's got some sort of racing speed stripe through the middle of it. I prefer the original. I don't like the look of the Slim.
Does it really have a racing stripe?
Well, it's got a black stripe in the middle. Which is where the 4 faceplates come in.
Which I almost guarantee is just so they can charge more for the fucking replacement faceplates, because they're like $100. If you go to EB and buy them,
the coloured ones, they're
$100 for a sheet of plastic that's 2 mils wide and would literally cost maybe 15 cents in filament to 3D print it.
Probably, yeah. Looking like it's releasing in US on November 8th, so I'm sure a Australian release date is not far behind.
Cool.
Next little bit of news I think is really cool. The Analogue 3D is releasing in 2024. What is it, you might ask? Well, let me tell you, gentlemen. It's a 4K version of the N64 with the ability to play original cartridges natively instead of using emulation.
Wow.
Yes. So the company behind it, Analogue, have already recreated a Game Boy, a Super Nintendo, and a Sega Master System, which all do this. And the next step is to redo it with a 64. So if you have a box of old 64 cartridges sitting around in a garage somewhere, and you've never been able to play them because your 64 shut the bed, I'm sure it'll charge you a very pretty penny for it, and they sold out like hotcakes the other editions. But also, do you really want to play a 64 game in 4K? It's gonna look like shit.
High definition flat polygons.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just more pixels get added to that big blocky ass on the back of Mario. I'm assuming this is sanctioned, right? This is a formal, like, Nintendo have signed off on this.
They've
I've
stopped
did-
stuff like this before.
Have you
I
seen
didn't
the
look-
news
I
recently with
didn't look into
Nintendo
it, yeah.
clamping down on even like tournament rules and shit?
Yeah.
Like, it must be not for profit. Your first prize can't be more than $4,000-$5,000. Like, they've basically just decimated the entire esports community built around anything Nintendo, which is a weird fucking move.
Well, the Smash Brothers like esports tournament was huge.
Yeah,
that was massive.
that's specifically
Yeah.
what I it was.
Yeah.
It came off the back of that, but I didn't get any time to put in any of my slightly right leaning news this episode. Sorry, Tom. I know I'm putting words in your mouth. You only
I
gave
didn't
me
say
shit
shit.
about it once. I know.
I didn't say shit. Anyway, let's move on to some PlayStation Plus games because Pete loves those. Gotham Knights has been released as the new If You Got Extra. I might actually jump in and give it a go, I think. Because it's free. Well, free-ish.
Dan's size.
Oh no! I mean, it's like if it came up on mine, I'd add it to my library, and when I got bored, I'd probably jump in and play it.
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah, but it's just one of those things. Like, this game's like 18 months old. It just got smashed in reviews, so now they've gone, hey, please, can somebody
18
now
months
continue
old?
to play this game?
Please
I
play
can't
our
believe
game,
it's 18
sir.
months old already. It doesn't feel like that long ago we were talking about it before release.
Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be.
I don't
I don't
I'm
think
not
it's 18
doubting you.
months. Yeah,
I
think
it's just amazing how quickly time's gone.
I'm pretty sure it released this year.
Really? And it's
Yeah.
already free.
No.
Have a look.
Have a look.
I'll read while you look that up. I'll read off some of the other games that are in there, which sound decent. Disco Elysium, the final cut.
October 22. 12 months old.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 12 months, yeah.
Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. They've done a few of those through the PS Plus subscription now. I think there's the trilogy. So this must be the last one to get added through that. Alien Isolation, the original Dead Island, the definitive edition, which I imagine is a remaster of the original. Outlast 2, Elite Dangerous, Far Changing Tides, Gungrave, GORE, Eldest
Oh, that's
Souls,
not that old either.
and Roki are the other games they've added as part of the extra subscription. If you have that and any of those games tickled your little pickle, well,
Eldest-
you better go grab them.
Elder
Dead Island.
Souls. How much of a fucking cash in on this
Elder
From
Scrolls,
Soft
yeah.
is that?
I should have, and I didn't look up any like gameplay for any of them. But I want when I saw that one, I was like, I should probably look that one up and have a look. Yeah, and yes.
Dead Island, was that the one that we used to play, Dan? That was
Yeah.
buggy as fuck?
Yeah, and I mean, the definitive edition might be a little bit less buggy, but I think it's probably just got the DLCs and that included.
And
It wasn't-
a bit of a remaster or something.
Yeah, it wasn't unentertaining to play.
No.
It certainly had potential. Like, you could
Well,
see that
they just released the sequel, like
Yeah.
within the
well,
last 6
Dead
months.
Island too, but they've also
Yeah.
written other games that use the same engine. Weren't they the guys that did Dying Light?
No, I don't think so. No, they were both unusually similar in released at a similar time.
Yeah, as in,
Yeah.
like, some developers obviously quit and started their own company and made the other game. Yeah.
Well, Dead Island 2 was in development hell for so long, and it got picked up
Ages. Yeah.
by a separate company. And apparently, it's for what it is. It's actually really good. Like, it's got much more linear mission areas than the original, which was a more open island.
Yeah.
And like, it sounds all right to me. And I mean, I've played through Dead Island.
Dead
couple
Island
of
2
times
also
now.
had the really that really great trailer.
Yeah.
Of the family and the little girl, and it was.
No, that's the first one.
Is it?
Yeah, Dead Island 2 trailer is the puffed up blonde haired guy jogging along Santa Monica Boulevard with his headphones on while the world turns to shit behind him.
Yep.
And then he gets like cracked in the head by a Jack Black kind of character going along in a minivan.
I just got a notification from our recording software that we lost connection to the server for a second. So hopefully everything's fine.
I better not lose my news because that's literally the only thing that I
Thing we've done so far. Yeah.
Last little bit, Charles Martinet, who was the voice of Mario, he's been replaced as he retired recently. And his replacement has been announced with the new Super Mario Brothers Wonder game, which came out last week. And the guy who's now voicing Mario and Luigi is a guy named Kevin Afghani. And he has a very, very short resume, but he's also only like 26. So
I was
obviously
waiting for the joke.
they're locking him. They're locking him in.
There's got to be a punchline.
Which
Locking
one do
him
you
in for
go?
longer.
Do you go short Mario? Do you go short dialogue? He hasn't got much to work with. I didn't know where to go. My brain went too many ways, and I couldn't pick one.
That is why you fail. Yeah. But anyway, yes. There is a new official voice of Mario and Luigi, and I reckon he's been locked into a long contract, being only 26, given how long Charles Martinet did the voice of Mario. But you know what? Thank God they didn't choose to use Chris Pratt, because it was fine, but
Wasn't terrible.
yeah, it wasn't great, but
Wasn't great.
wasn't great. Anyway, that's the news. Broadcast over.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but my life's made up of wasn't terrible, wasn't great.
Yep, that's the news.
Oh, boy.
I've got props on hand for this episode.
Do we?
I can't tell what Dan was laughing at precisely then.
Well, my mind went to a lot of things within your life, Pete, and I was just trying like just the film roll just rolled over in my head like a greatest hits streak. It was
Greatest hits is being a little bit polite.
Yeah. Do you want to pause and see if you've
Just
got
in
that
case.
file and start again for the next beer?
And we're back.
No, and I don't intend to.
Tom did this beer, but anyway.
Doing Tom's greatest hits tonight.
Yeah.
Repeat episode.
What did Tom do?
No, it's all right. Keep going.
What didn't Tom do?
Keep going.
All right, we're going to review our second beer.
I haven't committed genocide.
I'll go first, since you guys seem to be faffing around. So this is Molly Rose Brewing's Why Not a Brown Ale?
Oh, I meant to ask, when are we doing the brown ale?
Oh,
Fuck.
bollocks. Sorry.
No, all
My
good.
bad.
My fault. I was meant to ask the question. All good.
This can, I mean, it's not a circle. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but
There's a big ripple in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a stick-on label for a start, but the actual can art design reminds me of the Moon movie cover for some reason. Anyway,
the
Moon, the movie called The Moon.
Yep.
It's an Indian brown ale, which Tom was explaining to me earlier is basically a hoppy brown ale, and that is exactly what this is. It absolutely nails the brief. So
You're right. It does remind me of the Moon.
So it's biscuity and malty, which is exactly what you'd expect, but it does have a hop hit to it, 6.5%. I don't have too much to say about it other than it's really fucking good.
So go out and buy it, you dogs.
Yeah.
Are you doing that one tonight as well, Tom?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm saving that for my own personal time.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like nice, and it's got a nice citrus hop hit to it. Sorry, I'm trying not to burp on mic. It's a problem with drinking carbonated beverages on a podcast. To be honest, and this might not come across as politely as I wanted to. It rarely does when my mouth is open and words are coming out. But this reminds me a little bit of the Zythologist's brown ale, but I really like this one.
I'm
not muting it either. Fuck, I'm leaving it in. I'm not
I sighed
editing it
as
out.
soon as he started that sentence, and then I was not let down. I was not let down.
I mean, I'm not being rude. I'm just.
Your DMs are going to blow up now, bro.
I'm allowed to have preferences, and I was accused of not knowing anything about brown ales. I'm just saying. Well, that wasn't the accusation. It was more just they're not for everyone. I really like this. So anyway, yeah, and I refuse to edit any of my opinions out.
No, that was great.
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
I'm glad you said "out" on the end of that sentence, Pete. I refuse to edit any of my opinions.
That works too.
Yeah.
No, I really like that. So I would drink plenty more of that. So yeah, I'm going to give that. What did I say? 4.25.
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
You know what? I know you're joking, but I also wouldn't put it past you. Dan, what are you drinking, mate?
I'm pretty sure Tom's had this, or I've had it, or I don't remember. The garage.
You know we
project.
have Untapped, right?
You know what? When I
think
did
Pete
do
had
this,
that one actually.
when I did do this order, I did go and look at what was on there, and I think I even messaged you about, "Hey, have we done this on there?" And then I said, "Don't worry, I found it."
It is one of the Garage Project collab beers, the Happy Sessions.
Yeah, Happy Session Volume 12. Highland
That's
Park.
pretty good from only seeing the side of the can.
Yeah.
Like,
It reminds me of the Mind Flayer. Is
is
it
that what you
Mind
said the
Flayer?
first time?
Okay.
No, it's a Woolworths Liquorland beer. No,
Oh,
it's
I know the one you're
completely
talking about. Yeah, yep.
It's got that same teal color on the side.
Yeah.
It's not aqua, it's teal.
Highland Park Garage Project Immense World. It's got a little bit of oxidization on it, but it's still got a good sort of fresh hop character to it. Mosaic, Ruwaka, and Mochiwaka. So it's got a bit of herbal aroma and character coming from those New Zealand hops, especially the Mochiwaka. And it's actually got a little bit of that. It's not funk. I was trying to explain this the other day that New Zealand hops have this.
Oiliness.
I've said it's funk before, but it's kind of like, I don't eat blue cheese, but it's kind of that smell that comes from blue cheese, which, yes, I know is mold and is technically funk, but it's not funk as in barnyard saison.
It's
Brett
not
and Micey's
farmhouse.
funk.
Yeah.
It's a heavy baseline kind of funk, is what. we're
Yeah,
going
that's
for.
exactly
Yeah.
what it is. Get the double bass out there.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's like I said, it's got a little bit of oxidization on it. It's got a best before of February next year, so it's still got a few months on it. But
weren't we talking about NZ hops a few episodes ago, and we
were.
were talking about the
Dieseliness,
and the
yeah. Oil.
earthy aspect of it. Yeah,
yeah, you can get there's different ones have different levels of it, but they all seem to have a very similar through line. I don't know about these new ones, the Superdelics and things like that. That's why I was asking you about that the other day, Tom, whether you had any in there. So be very
this one's
interesting.
actually
yep. I definitely remember to do that, and will not do that this weekend.
So this one's actually a Pilsner.
I didn't read the top part because there's a lot of text on the back. I didn't actually read what
We have the technology.
we have the technology.
We can rebuild
Place
him.
for Highland Park, come garage. Yep, I'll read every third word. Classic Pilsner. There we go.
It wasn't a
About-
question. It was a
about-
statement. You didn't need to verify.
Yeah, I know. But about like the 10th line down, no, probably even more that, like 15th line down between two paragraphs.
It's actually
was-
3 breweries.
Oh, is it?
A hat trick of collaborations from 3 breweries. Oh, no, sorry. That's the Happy Sessions 23 overall.
Yeah.
So this one's with Highland Park. You're
Highland
right.
Park, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. LA Wonder
it's-
Kids.
It's good, but if you want to try it, don't leave it any longer.
So maybe, and you, so first of all, out of 5?
That's a hard one.
You haven't heard my next question.
7.5?
Started with 3? 3.75? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What does oxidization taste like?
Oh, that's an easy question.
Papery, wet cardboard.
Okay.
In certain beers, it can also be mistaken for malt character.
Is that an insult to the beer or?
No, it's just a sensory.
Column A,
It's just a sensory misconception. It can have that sweet malty character to it sometimes, depending on what malts are in there. If it's hop heavy, it's really easy to pick up on it. It's just like it's like dank wet cardboard that you go and pick up because you've left it on your driveway for too long and you've had a thunderstorm and then
you
sun's
licked
come
it.
out. Yeah.
It's always the weirdest thing when I first heard. It's stuck with me ever since. When someone was describing oxidization to me, and it was a certain Cicerone whose name rhymes with Ian Pereira, and
he may or may not have been on the podcast a few times.
But when he first was like, he was teaching me some stuff like years and years ago, and he was just like, yeah, so oxidization it's all like wet cardboard. I was like, you ever eaten wet cardboard? He goes, no. No, but I know
but
what
the
it tastes
Cicerone
like,
book
weirdly.
said though.
But you
Yeah,
do.
it's just-
You know what it tastes like because
Yeah.
it's one of those things that gets up there.
Well, so much of taste is smell,
the
and you do
aroma,
smell
yeah.
this stuff. So
But it was just
Yeah.
one of those things of just being like, did you ever ever eat wet cardboard? He's like, no. I was like, should we?
But
Just
it's not
as an experiment. It's a
but
big thing.
it's not just wet cardboard. It's kind of like wet old cardboard. It's not like
well, that explains everything.
it's not like I'm going to go and get a piece of cardboard, run it under the
Age
tap
it.
for 2 minutes, and then stick it in my gob and like chew on it for a little bit.
You can just see the Cicero training courses now. It's like it's 2 pieces of cardboard. One's been aged in a dark room for 12 months, and you have to be able to tell the difference.
In feeder barrels, and the other one's just
last week's Kellogg's packet. Yeah.
They do.
Fresh off the Amazon truck.
The one I went to when they do Light Strike, which is described as skunky. We got a bottle that was green glass, and then we put it out.
It's usually Heineken for everyone.
I was trying to think of one of your smart.
You can't do that.
One of your smart
It's my
rhyming
trick.
words. And we put it out there.
Heineken.
Heineken. You have to say it like Arnie, though.
We put it out in the sun for 20 minutes, and then the person pouring it cracked it open in the room next door to the room we're in, and we could smell it as soon as he cracked the bottle open. So, yes, there is ways of doing it.
And you can also train your palate too, right? Like, so when you're going through
off flavor kits and stuff.
I mean, the sommelier kits are all over the internet where they have the concentrated flavors, and your brain does need a level. So I've discovered this recently with my palate, even after quitting smoking. So I've been off cigarettes for 14, 15 months now.
Other than that,
thank you.
Big stogie you were sucking hard on the other day.
A cigar.
That's not a cigarette.
A cigar once a year isn't the same because it doesn't destroy your palate on an ongoing basis. But I've discovered my palate just isn't great. And it's because my sense of smell, my sinuses are blocked. I need to go back and see an ENT about it, but which directly affects your drinking. But you have to also reprogram the brain to be able to separate out these flavors. There's a lot of
them talk about, like, if you really want to get that kind of palate sense, you go and just pick up things in the supermarket and smell them, and then you just like you it's literally like grapefruit. That's grapefruit. I'm going to remember grapefruit. I'm going to come every week.
But it's grapefruit next to orange, and you have to smell.
You look like a weirdo in the shops.
A fucking weirdo walking through Woolies. Going to the next fruit and the next one. Hey, I need to clean my palate. I'm going to go and smell some
Get
dirty
some coffee
potatoes.
beans.
That's the thing as well. If you want to reset your palate, they say to lick the back of your hand or smell the back of your hand.
Smell the back of your hand, not lick the back of your hand.
It's usually coffee beans when it. Fucking. This is how we end up with 4-hour podcasts. I just think it's interesting because you do have a level of neuroplasticity where you can reprogram the brain, and for me it was a parallel with learning languages. Your brain, by the time you're in your teens, and if you only speak one language, your brain starts separating sounds into piles. So that if you mishear something, or you're only just on the edge hear something, your brain will fill in the blanks by sorting sounds into piles based on the language you know. Which means, as an adult like me, if you're trying to learn Japanese or Arabic,
that's like the most untruth statement that's ever been said on the podcast.
What's that? If you're an adult like me,
Pete.
if you're old like me, that motherfucker, people can say, and I struggled with an ex who was trying to teach me some Arabic, and she would say some words, and I'd try and repeat it back to her, and she'd say, "No, it's not this, it's this," and it's like, you just said the same thing twice. It's because my brain's incapable of hearing the difference. And it's kind of similar when you're and you can reprogram your brain to hear the difference. It's the same with this stuff. You have to retrain your palate to understand the subtle differences between, say, lemon, orange, and grapefruit to be able to taste it. You just have to continuously smell it to reprogram your brain. Anyway.
So on exactly that,
3-hour podcast.
Yeah, we've got a sour beer in tank at the moment, and I was exactly having that conversation today, Pete. It's funny you say that because I was talking to one of the brewers after I'd tasted it and gone, my taste buds want to tell me it's lime, but my brain is saying it's not lime enough to be lime, but it's not. it was a weird blend between the acidity and sharp citrus side of the lemon lime side of it and the more rounded orange side of it. It was a weird amalgamation of both, and that's interesting.
It's come up twice today so far for me because I had this whole conversation about language and stuff before. So,
what are you
brain's
drinking,
an
Tom?
amazing creature. Yeah, what are you drinking, Tom?
My brain is smooth for speed. It's aerodynamic.
I'm not touching that at all.
Also, when Dan was saying it's my taste buds are telling me it's lime, but my brain's telling me it's not lime enough. The only thing that was playing in my head, smooth brain, was my body's telling me no, but my mind is saying yes. That song that just came in. Anyway, I have a lot of problems. I'm drinking Duke's Pilsner from Freshwater Brewing. It's delicious. It is a 5% Pilsner from the guys up at Freshwater. Full disclosure, I did not pay for this beer. I traded it in a bartering system at a festival. And I got the better deal. I got the better
economy.
Deal. Yeah. This is... So
money wasn't the item that you gave them in return in this bartering process, right? Got it.
No, I...
gave them someone else's beer.
Yes. This one's for the Game Changers. So back in 1915, Duke Kahanamoku and Isabel Lethem rode the waves of Freshwater Beach and Aussie surf culture was born. Really? There you go. I did not know that. So this is a celebration of our home and of surfing and a nod to the Bohemian brewers that changed the game for beer back in 1842. So I guess it's a Bohemian Pilsner? Whatever that actually means.
slash check.
Mate. No?
Mate.
Chest joke. Dry, biscuity, and golden. That's exactly what it is. It's very good. It's nice and clear. Probably doesn't help when my light is not the greatest where it is, but
it's lighter than it appears on camera. I can
Yeah. It's but yeah, really biscuity. Very good. I'm going to give that a 4.5. Very much
cool.
enjoying that one. And at 5%, it's it's really easy going down. But cool. There we go. I like that. Also, their can is that kind of
textured paper feel.
Textured paper. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
We're all feeling it.
Yeah.
You're all doing it. We're all feeling it.
Let's get into some reviews.
Yes. Let's make sure we don't spend the next 20 minutes talking about Ahsoka, but we are going to talk about Ahsoka Season 1. I think this first came off the rank. Tom and I watched it. Dan did not.
Well, I think I did.
You basically did through watching people's reviews of episodes.
Yep, that's exactly what I did, because there's one guy that I watched.
Not at all an echo chamber either.
Instead of actually just going and watching the content, you watched other people talk about the content.
Sorry, I'm getting a call from the Chinese embassy.
I don't illegally download things, although I have asked a certain person to get me a copy of Andor, because I really want to rewatch Andor, but I'm not going to pay those Disney fuckers to watch it.
When you say a certain person, do you mean somebody whose name rhymes with Uwe?
Yeah, it would be Uwe. We'll for certain anonymity reasons, we'll call him Uwe.
Nah, it's that Bluey dog. That's
Bluey.
Yeah, Bluey the dog.
Yeah, because everyone would have pictured a redhead. Oh, sorry, for our international audiences. I don't know why, but we call redheads Bluey in Australia. I don't get it.
But Bluey's also a cattle dog. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's a colour. For animals, it's grey, but for people, it's red.
We're
off track.
3-hour episode.
Yeah, and I
so what did you think of the season overall, Dan?
I thought it was fucking trash. I thought there was some very good and interesting aspects to it that really only related to people that knew about certain things, like the world between worlds, and the whole Anakin thing. I'd love to see some Clone Wars stuff in live action rather than just a flashback in there.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody crossed their arms way too much and sighed a lot. And the world...
The size. I saw that in the Honest trailers.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, and he did a supercut of all the size.
Yeah.
The big aesthetic, and even looking from stills of certain scenes, the world just looks way too clean. Like the whole lived in world.
Lothal was.
Yeah, Lothal was. Lothal. I always pronounce it Lothal in my head.
Lothal. But even like the main one that stood out was when Hera was on trial for being a bad general and disregarding orders, but still got let off because another general lied for her.
So 3PO delivered the message.
Yeah. But everything was too clean, and they looked like action toys. Like she looked like an action toy.
It was a Senate meeting, though. Well, not a Senate. It was a court. So that's where they put on their Sunday best.
No, it looked fake. Like, I know it is fake, so that's a really dumb comment.
No, but it's not a dumb comment because the whole point of Hollywood is it's all fake and it's supposed to convince you that it's not.
Yeah, and then there was a whole bunch of other stuff. The Sabine's makeup in weird places that was shot looked like it got put on with Homer's shotgun makeup gun.
Homie, weird. You set the gun to whore again.
That's exactly it. And she was such a good pick for the character, but it just nothing ever felt like it progressed in time or felt like it took any time. Like when she was abducted, she still looked the same. The day she got off is stood in front of Thrawn as the day she the trip was meant to take hours or days or something to get across the galaxies. I'm jumping ahead here, but I'm going to shut up in 2 seconds. And that it all seemed really...
For someone who's never seen it, you're doing so fucking well.
And it all just seemed really odd to me, the whole visual aspect of it. And the last thing I'll comment on was Ezra's magic hands. It just looked fucking horrible, that fight scene. And it looks like, I dropped it in the chat, one of those Kung Fu masters in our real world. I say that in very loose quotation marks. Doing and his students falling over when he lightly taps them on the forehead, and it was just fucking ridiculous and over exaggerated, and it really felt like, even though it was written and directed by somebody who we know has a very good understanding of what the lore is, it felt like it was done by a fucking 12-year-old and his mates and a GoPro.
Cool. No, I wholeheartedly disagree with that.
No, I don't mean the filming quality of it. I mean, it felt like a bunch of people running around in a backyard. Oh yeah, I'm going to force push you and you fall backwards.
That particular fight, or are you talking about the whole series?
That particular one and a couple of bits of the other one.
Okay, I'll let that off with a
warning.
Maybe, yeah.
The Bail and Ahsoka one looks pretty good. And I will step out now.
Go on, Peter.
No, you go, mate.
No, I think because your points are probably going to roll more better off Dan's than mine are, because I'm on the opposite side of the fence.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to keep a balanced perspective on this, because the actual storyline wasn't a terrible one. I think it could have been told in a lot less episodes if we weren't panning it out. But it's a plot device. It's a plot device to create a threat that isn't the Emperor, that has to replace Darth. It's fundamentally what this whole season was about. Was bringing Thrawn back to become the next threat. So they have something to tell a story about in future movies / TV series, which I'm okay with. I'm all right with all that. I think the casting was perfect across all of the characters. I think they fucking nailed the casting, and I love David Tennant. For me, was a standout in terms of his timing. His comedic timing is very David Tennant-y. Like, it's fucking bang on,
especially the way he delivers.
Affirmative.
Just some of the there's some of the shorter lines
Doctor Who.
So
there were a couple of Doctor Who references, and Affirmative was one of
those. Yeah.
I think the fight choreography. It's interesting you brought it up, Dan, because I noted down in the penultimate and the final episodes, fight choreography for me felt a lot more video gamey than TV that I've that I've seen out of Star Wars before. To me, it felt almost, and I'm not drawing a parallel, but it was on the spectrum of the Batman fight in BVS, where we always talk about that being so much closer to the Arkham Knight style of fighting. For me, the final fight especially, or the final fights especially in the final episode, felt so much closer to Force Unleashed and to Jedi Survivor in terms of the fight choreography and the stylist, like the style and the approach of, I'm going to force push this bad guy into somebody else's lightsaber. We've never really seen it shown the way that it was shown in the TV series.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated the dynamics in the fights and the choreography in the fights. Where I think it all fell down for me personally was just how utterly contrived the story felt for me. And to me, you know, and Sabine is an easy through line example. And I took the piss out of Sabine with the whole blast helmet. And oh my God, why are we getting blast helmets out of the cupboard? Never seen this. To me, that was just cheap. But whatever. Maybe we've got new people watching this that have never seen the original stuff. Maybe. Don't know. I can let that through to the keeper. But to me, you had every episode of Sabine not being able to touch the Force. She wasn't able to move a fucking it was a pencil or a pen on the table, and she spent the entire season being unable to really connect with the Force, and it was a major plot line through the entire season. And you knew straight up, because we're old cynical motherfuckers, you knew straight at the start that at the end, in the final episode, she'll have some major breakthrough. I expected that. I'm cool with the idea that in the final episode she's going to reach out and the lightsaber is going to wiggle a little bit, and you're going to go, oh, is it going to move? Is it going to move? And then it's going to come to her hand. I expected that. But then the entire fight that followed immediately after, she's wielding the Force at the same level as fucking Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi. And to me, that leap of 10 seconds ago, I couldn't move the lightsaber, and now I'm force pushing Ezra Miller across a gap bigger than anything with
Ezra Bridger.
Sorry. I'm very passionate about this point. Sorry.
She did make him move pretty fast.
Serious.
In a flash.
But seriously, we got it. It's I'll cop it. But to me, force pushing him across that gap and a gap that vast, it's a bigger gap than any jump we've ever made in any video game from a master Force user, and she pushed him across it 10 seconds after she couldn't move a fucking lightsaber.
I definitely agree with you there. I really think it would have been a really bold and brave move if she tried to force pull that lightsaber in the final fight against the zombie storm, the Death Trooper, and it didn't come. I think that would have been a much cooler and a much bolder move for them to make.
I just don't think you can go
but
from...
I definitely agree with you. I when she force pushed him across, it wasn't a victory thing for me. Like, it wasn't like this is a good way to show the character. It was kind of like
it just felt cheap.
She shouldn't be able to do that. Yeah.
And it wasn't just that force push. The force push is the most obvious part of it at the end, but that whole fight... The whole fight with her and Ahsoka,
wanted to see her pulling out more Mandalorian fight moves like she did earlier.
But there was exactly right. But there was so much force use. The minute she pulled that lightsaber to her hands, everything was force push, force pull, force fucking everything.
If she couldn't have, she should have tried to pull it. And this is all backseat directing. But like in the Rebels animated series, when she's going up against Ezra in the training, when Ezra and Kana are trying to train her with the Darksaber, she's using all of the Jedi skills with all of her Mandalorian skills.
Yeah.
Like they have the grappling hook. She should have grapple hooked that lightsaber and pulled it in.
And that's what bugs me, because she is a unique character. If they're going to give her force powers, they had a unique opportunity to create a different type or a different style of Jedi.
Definitely,
yes. And and to me, they fumbled it.
I also wouldn't have got her to grapple hook the lightsaber if I had my choice. I would have got her, as she was kind of struggling, to then get her flamethrower right in that helmet and burn that fuck's head off.
And the last thing I wanted to say was Ezra leaning into the... Ezra Bridger, yeah, thank you, not Miller. Ezra leaning into the Force as opposed to his lightsaber was cool, but I think a choice... When Sabine offered him the lightsaber and he said, I don't need it, I'm going to use the Force, was another contrived plot point to demonstrate his ability.
Especially when an episode later he's building another lightsaber.
And it just felt ham-fisted where it didn't need to be because the outcome was cool.
Yeah.
Stylistically, it was a good choice, but the path to get there felt cheap and Mattel. It just... I just... So to me, it was balanced, but I overall, the other thing I just wanted to say before I flip to you, Tom.
No, mate.
It's not a story I have needed to hear. I mean, bringing Thrawn back breathes life or potential. Doesn't breathe life. It just breathes potential back into Star Wars. It gives them something to talk about in a future movie series or TV series.
Well, it doesn't, because we're already past that point because they blew it with the sequels. So if Thrawn...
Yeah, but they can now put in a bunch of movies in between and tell the story of Thrawn's re-rise, and then ultimately he has to die because he can't be around for the final trilogy. No. It would make no sense, because if he was, he would have been a part of those movies. So he's got but they've got plenty of time to tell a bunch of stories in that space that they've created.
Yes.
So I get that part. I don't think I needed to see. There was nothing in that series that I personally would have preferred an Ahsoka story that had nothing at all to do with Rebels. I would have preferred her as the Grey Jedi who is still struggling with the emotional turmoil and torment of her master turning into Darth Vader, which they did actually treat quite well. I think the special effects of him de-aging were fucking spot on. I just didn't need to see the story that I saw. That's all.
Fair enough. I'm on the opposite side of the fence. I chewed it up. I ate it up. I couldn't get enough of it. I wanted more. The whole diving into the mystical side of the Force, I think, is a nice balancing act towards what Andor is.
It's also very Rebels too. Like, it's consistent with.
And
Rebels.
I wanted more of it. That was the thing that I wanted more of. I think I said to you guys after the first episode that the one thing I wanted now from
you're talking about the Dathomir and witches, right? And when you talk about the mystical side of the Force,
no, I'm talking about World Between Worlds,
World
like
Between
the mystical side of the Force compared to the witchcraft side of the Force that the Night Sisters use. The thing that I wanted to see more, this series that if I had the $1 million or whatever to make it, would be in that first episode of Ahsoka hunting down the compass and the archaeological side of what Luke Skywalker did trying to find relics of Jedi and Sith post Return of the Jedi. That's a fucking series I want. I want to dive into that, it wasn't, yes, we were a giant peacekeeping force during the golden age of the Republic, but at the same time, you've got in the Sky, what's his name? Cal Kestis games, you've got Cordova, who is literally, he's the Indiana Jones of Star Wars. He's going and he's finding lost relics and he's delving into this mystical side of the Force. That's what I really wanted them to dive into. They didn't dive into it.
They dove.
They treaded lightly. They treaded lightly into that pool, and they maybe got up to their knees. And I wanted them to sink right in. And that's definitely the thing. And I think I mentioned to you guys it's one of the minor missions in the Battlefront 2 campaign where you go as Luke and he's finding one of the Emperor's safe houses. But that's what I want to see now. I want to see post Return of the Jedi Luke going out and finding mystical artifacts of the Force and just really trying to because obviously the Emperor wiped all knowledge of the Jedi as much as he could post Order 66 to make sure they wouldn't rise again, kind of thing. But then you've got people who are like, no, I'm going to go find it. And then it's like, do I want to I want to see Luke doing that, but at the same time, that's when I would like to bring Dr. Aphra in, who's obviously done a lot of that in the comics and stuff. But that's what I particularly enjoyed about the whole series was the diving into the mystical side of the Force as opposed to Andor, which is the gritty, realistic version of the Star Wars universe. Yeah.
I'll be right back. You guys keep talking. Sorry.
Cool. And I've got to I watched it again this morning. Granted, I had a fucking cracking hangover, but it's fine. But rewatching Anakin coming back with Hayden Christensen, amazing, absolutely amazing. As someone who grew up in the time, I obviously grew up with the original Star Wars films, but then the prequel series, like I particularly enjoy, and everyone shits on Hayden Christensen for the role he had as Anakin. I think Episode 2 Anakin is still annoying as fuck, but I really liked Revenge of the Sith Anakin. I thought that Hayden Christensen came into that role really well, and I think he did an excellent job. And seeing him come back, like pure emotions. Like Emma came home one night and I just finished the episode of the Clone Wars flashback, and she's like, "You openly crying?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." That's my Star Wars moment. That was beautiful. Like the way he moved, the choreography, he can still pull off the Anakin backward slash.
I think actually even better.
Yeah.
He was so fluid, and
watching him walk back when the clouds came through and it flashed to him, and he's like when he kicks Ahsoka back into the world between worlds, and then he does the shoulder shrug and he's like flashes between him and Vader. Just bucket loads of jizz. Just, oh my God.
They did a spectacular job of.
But just seeing him come back and the love and care he's been given as like being able to like re-portray that character.
And the behind the fucking back.
That gives me a really special like feeling like as a diehard Star Wars like fanatic. And I am so glad that they gave that back to Hayden. If they'd given it to anyone else, it just wouldn't have been as special. And I think that episode was that was the high point. That was the strong point of the series, was definitely that. It wasn't just fan service. It was, it did like
contextually it made sense.
It made a lot of sense, and it was good, and it was done well.
So I don't want to disrail your thought here, Tom, but just before you go on to the rest of the series, there's a little clip of them filming that sequence. And Hayden Christensen, so it was a proper walkway that they were standing on in the World Between Worlds, and Hayden Christensen's squatting on the edge of it, and Dave Filoni's down below, and Hayden Christensen's explaining to him how Anakin would actually react to Ahsoka appearing, and it was a really good. You can see that he's held on to it despite all of the backlash, and he's gone, no, I know I've done a good job, and there's a certain amount of people out there that know I've done a good job and can do this well, and he's just leaned into it, and there's so much love and respect there for that.
You can't blame an actor entirely for any portrayal, because a lot of you have to understand, like most intelligent people understand,
it's coming back, like it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's writing, it's direction.
Yes.
There's a lot of other aspects to this thing. You can tell he loves the character, and to be honest, out of an actor, that's the highest hope that you could ever go for.
100%, because and this is the thing. It's kind of a sidestep, because it's all.
And I'm not a fan. Sorry to cut you off there. I'm not a fan of Hayden, so I say that very openly.
No, and I know that, and so for you to say that, I know like that how high regard that is. But it's a sidestep now into, this is a very light point. This is the problem with what fucking Marvel are doing, is they don't let the actor embody the character in that same sense. Like the fact that Filoni is there looking up, and it's a like you wouldn't say it's a power struggle thing, but it's literally him going, no, you're fucking Anakin Skywalker. You're the one who knows the character back to front. Like, I can write for him, but you're the one who's played him for a while. And it's the same thing with Sam Witwer, who is, without a doubt, the best Star Wars person to ever exist.
That guy has been in the game for so fucking long.
He's better than Filoni. I'll say that. I have much more respect for Sam Witwer than I do have for Dave Filoni. And I have a lot of respect for Dave Filoni. But the fact that there's that interview where he's like corrected him and like, no, this is what Maul would actually do in the fight in Rebels and stuff. It's like, you've got to get the actors. That's what they do. They put their heart and soul into a character, and they portray them as they would like to like portray it, because they understand it. They go through their acting process. And this is the problem with studios who are like, no, we got this grand plan. It's like, your grand plan's fine, but
too much arrogance in Hollywood.
Let an actor character develop it themselves.
I think there's too much arrogance in Hollywood, and I think that's demonstrable through the recent strikes. To have your writers and your actors strike at the same time is a pretty big deal, right? Everything stops.
The last thing I'd like to touch on is like It's such a fucking shame. It's the biggest fucking loss about Ray Stevenson because he was like, obviously I love Anakin and stuff, but the way he portrayed Baylan Skoll, like that was amazing. That was so incredible. And I've always really liked Ray Stevenson. I think we all can say we probably have. But he really came into that role like head first. He dived into it, and it's such a massive shame that he got taken so soon after it came out. Because I would also like an entire Baylan Skoll series. I want to see he is the Knight of the Old Republic.
He must have passed after all principal photography was done. Because I kept expecting
he passed like 2 weeks before the series debuted. I'm pretty sure.
Right. Okay.
No. It was well before.
Because I kind of kept expecting. I wasn't sure the timeline. I kept expecting them to write him out at the end of each episode. I was expecting him to die in the show. Because
he passed away like 3 months ago.
And we
it couldn't be that long. We'll look it up. But yeah, I definitely think it's. And the one thing I have seen since he passed is that the person to take over from him is Liev Schreiber, as who was Sabretooth in the X-Men films, and it's pretty close.
Is he taking over as the character?
No, that's like the fan casting.
Right.
Yeah,
it is.
Because obviously he needs to be. You can't write him out now. Like,
because he's. Well, they left him behind. I guess they could, but just never mention him again. It's convenient, but
I don't think Filoni wouldn't leave the Mortis gods with that bigger hole. Yeah. And the last thing for me on Ahsoka was obviously everyone who was involved in that show clearly loved Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings because they had the warg attack on the caravan. They had the Pillars of the Argonath right at the end there that Baylan Skoll was standing on.
Yep, I can see that.
And Shin Hati was a great character too, as an apprentice. I thought there was a nice balance between her and Baylan. Yeah,
I agree, and the interplay between those two. Do you know what? And this goes back to what I was saying. I would have much preferred an Ahsoka story that had fuck all to do with Rebels and didn't have to connect the dots for us. Yeah. And that would have been a really interesting dynamic to play out and spend a little bit more time focusing on, is the two Grey Jedi as the counterpoint to Ahsoka being a Grey Jedi on the other side of the Force balance.
The Dark Jedi versus the Grey Jedi.
Exactly. So we don't have hardcore fucking good guys and bad guys anymore. We've got shades of grey, but on clearly moral differences. That to me would have been a far more interesting series to explore.
Oh, the other Lord of the Rings quote reference was Ahsoka coming back as Gandalf the White. That was great.
but we needed Thrawn to come back, so we got the series. We do need to move on.
That's enough on Ahsoka. But yeah, I cheered up. I loved it, and but yeah, definitely love that idea of exploring the mystical side of the Force compared to Andor's grounded reality. I think that was cool.
Whereas, I'm not rage quitting, but I will finish Loki season 2, and I will cancel my D+ subscription because I just don't see the value for money I'm getting out of it anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm really quickly, because we're going to have to cut stuff to make up time. So I'm just going to blitz through this. Wheel of Time season 2. I've already alluded that it made a comeback for me. Season 1 was a tragic train wreck. Season 2, they've done what I said that they should have done in the first place. Just step back and get the fuck out of the way of the amazing story. He is a world builder. Robert Jordan was a world builder that was likened to J.R.R. Jesus, my brain's not working tonight. Tolkien. There hasn't really been a good a story that kind of hits that level since Tolkien. All they really needed to do was pick the right casting and direction and just tell the fucking story that was written for them. They didn't need to reinvent the wheel. They've already got a world-class story. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
I was going to let it go, Dan.
Yeah. Season 2, they've done exactly that. And it's cool because they didn't just do book 2. They actually had to rewrite some stuff to make book 2 and 3 collapse into one season. Okay. So there is some original content in there, but by and large, they got out of the fucking way and just told the story. The actors have settled into a rhythm. You can tell that the dynamic there, they're now old friends, and you can tell that the chemistry really works between the actors. And the set dressing, I got to tell you, the set dressing to me is higher class than most of the Star Wars set dressing in Ahsoka. I know that's not a small thing to say, but they've clearly spent a shitload of time and effort and money looking into how to make everything look super authentic. So I would actually suggest skip season 1. Maybe just
I've still got 3 episodes left. Should I just watch those 3 episodes? And
yeah, you should. Yeah, just rip that Band-Aid off. But season 2 is a really interesting, intricate story, and it starts to show you how broad Robert Jordan's vision for Wheel of Time was.
Cool.
And they did a good job of telling the story. Continental, did you guys watch it?
Not yet. It is on the list.
No spoilers. I know it got panned. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Cool.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
How long before?
3 episodes.
No, but how long before the time of John Wick, as it says? Is it 70s? 70s?
Yeah, it is all in the 70s. And it's
as long as it takes for Skarsgård to end up looking like Ian McShane. you put that timeline in there because I think it's about 60 fucking years, but
hang on, I've got to.
Yeah, but the 70s were but the 70s were 60 years ago, Dan. Oh no, sorry, 50 years ago.
Yeah,
sorry,
no,
my bad.
Ian
I said that with such gusto, and I was wrong.
Ian McShane's a well-weathered man.
He was he is a well-weathered man.
It just means Skarsgård needs to go out and get some sun.
But I got to tell you,
leather that Ian McShane is.
Do some hard drinking, smoke a pack a day, and get some sun.
The story, the story was non-obvious, and it is very much a John Wick story in the way that the action sequences are very on point for like a John Woo style movie, but the storyline. Is John Woo
still involved?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. I don't even know for sure if he was ever involved.
No.
But it's the gun. It's the gun fu style. Yeah. Is very much.
I know gun fu.
Is still very much involved. But the storyline was actually quite interesting. So if you can get away from the rest of it, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, thoroughly enjoyed it. Popcorn movie, did exactly what I thought it would do. He's getting on. Tom Cruise starting to look a lot more like his ex-wife.
Vampirism no longer. Yes,
because we were given his ex-wife shit in Aquaman. I want to say
no, The Northman.
Yeah.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Yeah, no, Nicole Kidman we were calling plastic. You're right. It was The Northman. He's starting to look pretty fucking plastic fantastic himself, I gotta say.
Plastic fantastic.
All that Scientology and sleeping in hyperbaric chambers with young virgin blood circulating around it.
But the movie itself...
Hey, don't knock it till you tried it.
The movie itself...
I'm actually 900 years old.
Tells... Okay, Philip Rudd. It does tell an interesting story that... Sorry?
Yoda, 900?
Yeah. It does tell an interesting story that's pretty close to... If you think about what the future's likely to hold and you follow it down a certain path in terms of artificial intelligence and IT and where we are in the world at the moment with data and digital infrastructure, they did a bang-up job of describing what bad might come in the very near future, and it's very realistic.
But this is also part 1 of the end of the Mission Impossible series.
There's one more movie and then they're wrapping it.
They actually are, yeah.
But this
I hope they stick to it because I fucking hate when people say that and then they turn around and go, here we go, we got one more.
But this tells a story of a sentient, self-aware computer virus. And I know it's not the first time we've seen that kind of story, but it tells it in a...
But
it tells it very much... No, but that's the thing. No, more like think Hackers, the old school movie.
Okay.
It tells in a 2023 realistic lens. We are talking about ChatGPT everywhere. This is the world that we're starting to move into. And what would a self-aware computer virus be capable of doing? Well, how about picking an avatar and then deleting him from all footage in real time? So you can walk through an airport security camera and be completely invisible. So it's actually kind of interesting in that sense. Anyway, and Gen V.
Before
Sorry.
we move on, I need
Yeah.
to address the Philip Rudd comment. You mean Paul Rudd?
I did mean Paul Rudd. I did more.
I was going to, again,
It's
I was
been a
gonna let
long
it go.
day. I've really struggled. Sorry.
No, that's
That's
just
my
you,
bad.
Pete. You get,
Yeah,
you
no,
get
true.
the
I
initials.
do it.
You either get the first name and the second name first initial right, or you get the first initial and the second name right.
Because let's be honest, Philip Rudd looks like a walking corpse. So
And also, my brain is scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Just remember those old ads. This is your brain. This is your brain on
Brain on
drugs.
drugs.
I never took drugs, but I still ended up there. So they were wrong. Gen
I
V.
think that's a fucking lie, but anyway.
Yeah. So
moving on.
Gen V, as a continuation of The Boys,
Yep.
but set in a uni campus, is exactly as fucked up as you think it should be.
Oh, no.
It's
Oh, dear.
so much fun.
Yeah.
It's
I
actually
do want to check it out, but it's one of those things that's so fucked up that you just have to do that in little bits. I can't do too much of it. Like it.
I fucking love it. And in
Yeah.
fact, this season with the super ultra violence and gore shit that you probably wouldn't get away with putting on TV. They kind of gotten past that point now where The Boys pushed it right up to the edge where it's got an R rating. It can't go any further. If they put too much more gore in, they're not going to get it on TV. And they found a loophole. So there's some scenes where the crazy guy that puts his fist through people's assholes and up through their mouths and then starts talking to himself. That's not an actual example, but it's pretty close to the level.
Thank God.
They turn them into Muppets. So there's this whole fight scene where the Muppet is tearing apart other Muppets and all the gore is Muppet glitter. It's actually really well thought out. And that's it from me. Over to you. Talk to me, Dan.
Talk to me. I'm going to talk to you. Aussie horror film. Talk to me. It was on my radar when it came out in the cinemas. I should have gone and seen it in cinemas. It's a fucking great Aussie horror movie. It's set in. Actually, I don't think they say where it's set, but I think it was filmed in South Australia. It's got a all Aussie cast. Miranda Otto plays the mum of one of the two of the kids that are in the movie, and she plays the best ochre Aussie mum that has ever been put to film. She swears, and the comments.
Fucking too right, Dan.
Yeah, the shit like that. Like it's like the shit that comes out of her mouth when she's talking to her daughter's boyfriend and things like that. It's just classic. I'm not gonna even say the line because it made me absolutely kill myself laughing when she did it. It's just.
I didn't even know she was Aussie.
Yeah, bro.
She's the beautiful, beautiful redhead in Return of the King.
Yeah, Eowyn.
She plays Eowyn. Yes.
Yeah. Talk to me.
Blonde.
It's about a
Blonde.
group of kids, high school aged, 16-ish, 17-ish, so 11, 12 in our high school system. Two of the guys have this. This looks like a plaster hand that's holding a hand out like that. Actually, it's a left hand, and they have these parties where people go to. They get a.
This is the one that I brought.
It was
to
on Trailer Trash.
and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys said that it didn't look great because it was, and we ripped.
I think we all said it looks all right. I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
I'm
it's
going to the
good.
video judge in the edit.
Yep, I'll watch it. Me and Louise will watch it. Sure.
When I look at this Australian film, I'm just like, oh, this just looks like another student film. And that's maybe like an advertising thing on the Australian film department. Like maybe they need to learn to cut their trailers better to grab people more. But it didn't grab me in the same way that
Because
those other films
all
did.
the good.
So they bring this hand.
I
They
said
have
they
a
were
small group of
dogs.
parties every night where they bring the hand. Somebody gets strapped to a chair. You have to hold the hand and say, "Talk to me." And only the person holding the hand can see a spirit appear, and then they say, "Let me in," and they get a short-term possession. 90 seconds is the length of time they're allowed to go for, and they have a candle burning at the same time, and they have to.
The most accurate timekeeper, a candle.
No, it's not. No. It's the candle's not the timekeeper. Somebody's keeping time on their phone, and they have to pull the person out. They have to blow the candle out before 90 seconds because that closes the door. Lighting the candle opens the door. Blowing the candle out closes the door. And
Also, for about 150 to 200 years, it was our only way of measuring time at night, Tom.
Yes. So they had to
said it was right.
the 90 seconds is the limit of this demon possession or spirit possession.
Jean-Claude
And-
uses cigarettes.
Oh, shut up and let me finish this. I'm trying to fucking move this along, so shut the fuck up and let me get
you
through
can
this
fucking talk. Anyway,
I've lost my train of thought now.
there's some sort of spiritual hand job going on.
Things go awry, and it's an excellent movie. It's brilliantly acted. It's really well written.
It looks
I think
really
that should be the plot movement for every horror film. Things go awry.
Things go awry. It's always things go awry.
No, that's why it's
Always
so
things
good,
go
yeah.
awry. It's the tagline. Yeah, things go awry on this one too.
Yeah.
It's meant to be an allegory for drug usage within teens, and I can completely see this the way they approach it in the movie, and it's great. I think it's a fantastic movie, and like I said, really well acted. They've left it open for a sequel. I think they've been greenlit for a sequel. I don't think it needs one. I think it should be one of those one and done movies, but
just rely on the fact that Australia has no budget to make movies, and they'll probably shit can it at some point anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's an A24. That's the studio that's producing it that did X and Pearl and a couple of others. And so I think they've sat outside the writers' strike or something like that. There's something to do with them and the strikes.
They're an American independent entertainment company, so they probably aren't. They don't require the Film Actors
Guild membership.
It's not Film Actors Guild. I've got to stop saying that. That all comes from World Police. I know, but it makes me sound so fucking backward.
They probably the Film Actors Guild.
Or facts for sure. But they probably don't subscribe to all that sort of stuff. So they don't need the PGA if you're going to be the people that the casting director and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
the
maybe.
Problem is you're fucking pariahs, apparently, in Hollywood if you're not. If you're not in those guilds, you don't get work.
I mean, but A24 has been doing really well on its own, so I don't think they're not really concerned about it. They've done some really good movies. So go and watch Talk to Me. Good Australian film, really, really fantastic. We'll translate anywhere around the world. You might not get all the jokes and all the language because there's a lot of Aussie slang in it, and if you're not from Australia, but it's a fantastic film, and it's well up there with all the horror movies out there of recent times.
Yeah, cool.
And Pearl is the second movie that I've got on there. It's the sequel but prequel to X. It tells the story of the lady that runs the farm during X. I'm not going to go into it anymore. It was a bit of a letdown. It's got the same actor as X. It was fine. Me and Louise got all through the whole thing. It was fine. There was bits that really related to X, and then there was a whole bunch of stuff that didn't. And I was really waiting for the film to go somewhere, and it never actually really went anywhere. You knew where it was going from the very beginning, and I thought there'd be a twist on it somewhere, but there wasn't. It sort of just played out the same way. She's really great in it. She does this whole table scene that goes for probably 5 minutes, and it's just the camera on her, and she goes through a range of emotions, telling her life story, and that I think that's worth just YouTubing on its own. She's excellent. So I'll leave it at that. I don't know her name. I don't know the director. I don't know anything. Sorry.
Cool.
Well, that was informative. I'm gonna.
Oh, we're such sarcastic bastards.
Yeah, pricks, aren't we? I'm going to quickly talk about the creator.
Without spoilers, motherfucker.
Yes. No spoilers. Cool. It's fine. It's good. It's fuck. Damn it. No. Gareth Edwards obviously is the director behind that, who did Rogue One, who did Godzilla. What else has he done? I
think we said it looked like Terminator meets what's it called? Not Section 11. What's the South African before Chappie?
District 9.
District 9. Thank you.
It's Rogue One meets District 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
The robots in it. From a design perspective, the robots in it are definitely that District 9 kind of feel of Android. Let's use that term. The AI people, we can do that. They are very cool designs. didn't use Ken Watanabe enough. That's my big complaint, because I really like him as an actor. The main guy in it, John Washington, was incredible. He was definitely like a standout part of that film. Just the way he went through, the emotional range he went through was brilliant. It was very good to watch. But I went and saw it with my mate Luke, and we walked out, and literally one of the first things we said was, "Well, it's nice that Gareth Edwards used all those cutting room floor things from Rogue One, like to shoot this,
running across the beach." And
there was a bit of running across the beach there. The orbital platform that is a major part of the story looks like the gate above Scarif. I was just waiting for the blue leader to come in with his glorious red stash that he had and shoot it down, but he never appeared, unfortunately. Really cool. Worth seeing, and as Ben said, it didn't reinvent the AI kind of story, but it was a really good retelling of it. Cool. Very similar things. So yes, I think it's still in cinemas if you can get to one to see it, but otherwise, fuck you, Villeneuve. Watch it on your home theater system in the comfort of your own home with your feet up and a delicious beer in hand. That's my review for that. And then lastly for me, Only Murders in the Building. So season 3 wrapped up. It's I just always love a bit of I've just literally
I've never even heard of this. What is Only Murders in the Building?
It's a Star, which is the Fox side of Disney. Yep. It is fucking Martin Short and Steve Martin. Wow, the fact that I forgot those two people's names.
Selena Gomez, Jesse Williams, Meryl Streep.
Yeah, they're all in it. No, so
Delevingne. What's how do you
Cara Delevingne? Yeah. So it's the third series of this. It's obviously Steve Martin and Martin Short are the old dudes, and Selena Gomez brings the youth into it. Just great chemistry between the three of them. You can tell that obviously Steve Martin and Martin Short have been working together for so many fucking years that they've naturally got it. But to bring Selena Gomez in and like she bounces off them, she definitely, the third season is the weakest. The first two were really good, really enjoyed them. It just seemed like Selena was dialing it in the third one. They were still so full of, they were still so full of energy, and she just, something, Emma and I both said it, just like something felt off. But yeah, it's a fun little, detective series. It forms around, there's always a murder in their building, and they run their own podcast. They do their own internal investigation kind of thing around that. It's just fun. It's very light entertainment TV.
Short episodes?
They're 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah. But they're so easy watching that you really feel like you breeze through them. So yeah, it's definitely one of those ones that we would love to watch. That Emma and I would watch it while we had dinner. It was just, that was a nice, easy over dinner kind of thing.
Yeah, nice.
Again, doesn't break ground. They try and throw a spanner in the works every series with the whodunit story, but pretty obvious for most of them. Like you can figure it out pretty quickly. Everyone's just like, gets the last episode and it's like, oh, this is who did it, and you're just like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, cool.
I'm gonna watch it. What's it on?
It's fun. It's on Disney Plus. Okay. So get in before you cancel.
Yeah. I've got an annual subscription, so I need to figure out exactly when it will take effect, but I'm definitely cancelling. I've got to admit, I've never actually seen Selena Gomez in anything other than SNL skits, I think. I think it's SNL skits. And then, all the bullshit with Justin Bieber. So I've never actually seen her in anything.
No, and I think this is the first thing I've actually seen her act in that I've actually watched.
But I love Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Oh, those two together they're just hilarious. Steve Martin does get his banjo out, and he is excellent on his banjo. He's actually got some pretty good albums if you ever want to listen. Steve Martin's banjo albums are very good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's a professional banjo player.
Fuck. Cool. Yeah. I think on that note, we're going to take a quick break.
I think that's a plan.
Way over.
Hey, hey,
and we're back. God, I hate myself when I say that. What are we drinking? Beer's number 3.
I'm
Here's
drinking the
number
brown
4.
ale.
Oh, nice. I heard that was pretty good.
It's good. It's good. I like it.
Sounds shit.
I'm
gonna
not
fling
sure
my
I
can
would
across
call
the
it.
fence.
I would not call it an Indian brown ale, but it's good. This is the Molly Rose Brewing Company. Why not a brown ale that Pete had earlier? 6.5%. It's got that real biscuity, malty character that should say a real nice, savory aspect to it. It's got a little bit of sweetness there, a little bit of sort of caramel, toffee, malt flavors coming through as well. I'm not getting a huge hop hit for it to be called an Indian brown, but it's very nice and very Moorish and just what I wanted now. I quickly ate something during the break, so this is kind of a pleasant little return to the podcast dessert.
Out of 5?
Mm,
Looks darker on your screen than it is.
3.75.
There we go. What are you
Cool.
drinking, Pete?
Do you mind coming back to me?
No. Anyway, I'm drinking the Dark Harp from One Drop. It is a black IPA. Here we go. It's a lovely little can.
From who?
One Drop.
One Drop. Sorry.
Yep. No. I did rush.
I might be going deaf. I don't know. You may have said it.
What?
What?
Classic granddad joke. They say on the back that they have used Amarillo, Simcoe, and Citra hops in this. It pours deliciously dark. It is nice and dank.
Nice.
It is, as you would expect from One Drop, it is a very well-crafted IPA. That is something that they do rather well when they're not chucking the entire world's fruit content into a beer. Yeah, I said it.
Or half a kilo of glitter.
I said it. Nice little story on the back, which I'm not going to read because it's mostly bullshit. It's just them waffling on about how people drink IPAs and in the cold months they drink black IPAs.
I think we should have a whole episode where we're just randomly aggressive over nothing that deserves being aggressive about.
Pretty sure that's me every episode. Yeah, look, winter isn't the time for black IPAs. Every time is the time for black IPAs, and most breweries are cowards and won't make them in summer. So you know what? Throwing down the gauntlet. Do it.
Black Rye IPA. Pete's taking it up a notch.
That's my final beer. That's not the one I'm trying now.
Yes. Listen, you coward dog breweries, make more black IPAs.
See, Tom, you're the only. It's only in the context of this
I'm just
podcast.
the most
I'm going to say
vocal person.
It's only in the context of the podcast I'm going to say this, but you're the only person who talks, and I hear the C word on the tip of your tongue like 50 times a sentence.
Oh, it lives there.
I could always tell when you want to say it. But
it was there. It was right there, wasn't it?
No, I know it was. Yeah.
But I don't want to add a little edit note for you, so I was being very nice.
Out of 5?
I'm going to give that a 4. That is very good. It could be a little danker. What
was the ABV? Sorry.
I didn't say that. It was 6.7%. My apologies. I'd tell you when the best before is, but they've somehow printed it on the rim, and so I can't.
Nothing worse than a rim job.
There's plenty of things worse than a rim job. Let me tell you. Can I read it? I don't know.
See, I throw that shit out there just to see the responses I'm going to get. Because I mean, I will never expose my own opinion.
Like water off a duck's back for me. You know, I'm used to them.
All the way down the crack.
Oh yeah, that's where the tongue goes. 8th of the 9th, 24 is the best before date. It's on that one.
My
parents listen to this podcast sometimes.
You should keep your rusty trombones to yourself.
But I used to play the trombone.
Why does that not surprise me?
I wanted to be Lanky Kong from Donkey Kong 64.
I don't think anything you ever tell me, Tom, ever surprises me anymore. Like,
totally, yeah, it tracks.
Yep, that's
I've
about
lived
right.
many lives.
I'm really glad that I looked this up. My beer is really vexing me because. So I'm drinking 5 Barrel Brewing, which I don't think we've ever had on the podcast. Maybe once.
We have.
Yeah.
I did the red IPA.
Twice. Yeah, okay. Yep. So this is Possum Paradise, which is a white IPA at 6%. And
a white IPA.
Yeah, so I went from white IPA to black rye IPA. That's kind of my progression for the second half of this episode.
He's given into the darkness.
International brewing mates collaborating along the Pacific Rim It's just that word again. Our breweries are both on the east coast of our countries: Wollongong, Australia, and Mangaway, New Zealand. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Oceania's trees are home to the infamous Possum, protected and loved in Australia, thriving, destructive, and hated in New Zealand. East Coast White, a white IPA using Hefeweizen yeast to exude a creamy banana character across a fruit salad hop base of Galaxy, Vic Secret, and Motueka.
I hope white IPAs aren't making a comeback, because I remember when they used to be quite popular.
Yeah, very popular.
Let's just say that period of history should be wiped from the records.
But a good one's not bad.
They're all shit.
I don't get a lot of banana ester out of this.
I don't like Hefeweizens. Why would I like an IPA version of one?
They weren't always made with Hefeweizen yeast, or wheat beer yeast. But anyway,
sorry,
I don't know. No, don't be. I'm really struggling to kind of characterize this beer because they talk about banana. There's no ester in it at all. It's just it's not bad. It's just a sharp. It's a sharp IPA. It's got a very low bitterness level. There's a little bit of residual sweetness to it. Fuck you, Dan. And it's funny because it says
I inhaled deeply at that point too. I was like, oh, here he goes.
Well, I was on mute, so it was all good.
I could tell from the facial expression. It's funny because on the can it says hop base of Galaxy, Vic Secret, and Motueka, and then on Untapped they've put Enigma, Vic Secret, and Motueka. Motueka. Yes.
So their Galaxy is an Enigma. The riddle is figuring out which brew it was.
Why did I say that? I should have known. It does say malt, Vienna malt, lager, malted wheat, and malted oats. Appearance. God, there's a whole flavor profile is where I've got the problem. Tropical fruit with banana, citrus, and white grapes. I can see the white grapes. Funnily enough, there is no banana in this at all that I can detect. So it might just be my palate, but it's not bad. It's just, to me, it's just another IPA. If you didn't tell me it was a white IPA, I wouldn't have known.
Hold it up again. I just can't quite see it. Oh yeah,
it's the color of a NEPA. Really, it's there's some haze protein in here, but not thick. I would have believed you if you told me it was just an IPA.
Yeah, right.
I think it's the malted wheat because it is listed as a wheat/white IPA.
Yep.
So
checks.
So
Trailers.
Brewers,
No,
it tracks. What is a white IPA compared to just a standard IPA?
The ones I've made previously have had higher wheat content, and then in the early days they went a bit like
they're more Belgian-y.
Duvel, yeah. Duvel and Hogarden. A hoppy Hogarden.
Yeah, okay.
Is kind of what you would be looking at.
So something
that's the name of my retirement village.
Oh, can we make that the fucking podcast title?
the hoppy Hogarden.
Yeah, there's a hyphen there.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. That actually tracks a little better. Hoppy Hogarden.
Put a slice of orange in it, see what does it to it, you know.
But I'd expect it to be a little bit lighter, and like when I say lighter, I don't mean color. I mean kind of in the body. I'd expect it to be a little bit thinner because Hogarden's almost a Pilsner lager. It's clean. It's clean is where I'm going.
It's dirty in Belgium. Yeah. Dirty.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm going to give it a 3.75.
A little blue moon. Yeah, this slice of orange in it.
Blue moon. Fuck me. That's a dirty word.
I know.
That's a dirty word. Fucking Hogarden is Hogarden and you turn your nose up at Hogarden and Duvel, but you got a little bit of blue moon. Fuck me.
I wasn't saying it in a nice way.
Okay, good.
I'm just going to call it Hoppy Hogarden. Anyway, we're going to move on. I'm going to give it a 3.75. Because I've got It's causing me some weird personality defect.
I'm sure that's not how you spell Hogarden, but anyway.
No, I did that on purpose.
Before we dive into the trailer trash, I did leave off my in-depth review. Do you want me to do it now or post-trailer trash? I was going to do the Forspoken review. Where do you want me to do it, Peter?
Is next episode an answer that you'll accept?
No, take out trailer trash. Just let Tom.
I think this will be.
I'm down with that.
10 minutes. I think this will be 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Max.
I think that's do it.
I think we still do
it.
Do it now.
All right. I was gonna save this for Are You Winning, Son? But it doesn't deserve to be in that hallowed hall. I recently finished Forspoken. Ed and I both played this. It's a Square Enix game. It was originally called Project Athia when it was first released. The trailer was released along with the initial PS5 showcase, one of the initial PS5 showcases. So it's a game by Square Enix and another studio because they sent me some fucking platinum email and I literally wanted to vomit on myself again for having to rethink about the game. So the studio was Square Enix and Luminous Productions. My total, and just for stats, my total playtime was 58 hours. 58 hours I spent in this game. 58 hours of my kind of
hating
life.
yourself.
Let's be honest. So the crux of the game is that you play as a girl, Frey. You have this magical wristband called Cuff because,
inventive much?
Well, he likes to call himself Vambrace. She calls him Cuff because she's edgy.
Or uneducated.
Fucking tell me that's not like the real
the
thing in the
backstory
game.
there.
No, that's actual thing. That's a conversation they have in the game. He's like, "What do you think of the name Vambrace?" And she goes, "No, I'm going to call you Cuff."
How long has he been intelligent for? An intelligent bracelet? Probably like a couple of million years or something.
He is ageless.
Yeah,
demon,
so ancient.
Ancient demon, essentially.
So he's more educated than she is, and Vambrace is a pretty specific armor.
It's a curled piece of metal around her arm,
which would literally be called a fucking Vambrace or a bracer.
It's more like a bracelet. In it looks like almost like a snake cord around her arm. So there are gaps in it. So I wouldn't say it's like a Vambrace when you think of. I think of Aragorn putting on Boromir's Vambraces.
I can almost get without doing any research. I'm just going out on a limb here and making shit up on the spot, which I have a tendency to do.
No.
I would almost say that bracelet would be a derivative term of bracer as a concept, and certainly,
probably, yeah.
As the bracer, which was like a cuff of armor that would be 4 inches long or something, would slowly get smaller and smaller, and you end up with a bracelet. It just ends up being like the swords. Rapiers went from being
the swords. I want you to start more sentences that way.
Rapiers went from being a weapon to defend oneself and to defend one's honor to becoming almost the elite snobs. The gentlefolk would carry them, and they would be more and more adorned by jewels and be less and less useful in actual combat. Anyway. This is how we end up with 4-hour episodes. I keep complaining.
We're getting bogged down on a technicality
on
a curled serpent piece of metal around this fake character's arm. Anyway, this thing is sentient. It talks to you, and that was the first initial problem. And I talked about this ages ago. It's just the unnecessary level of talking. So I stopped playing Forspoken after the first 20 hours. I'd gotten through a bit of it. I got a bit bored with it. Some other game came up that I was more interested in. I jumped back into that. I was finished Skyrim. I played my little Demolition Derby game, which was stupid and fun. And then I was like, you know what? I've got a week and a half. I reckon I can smash out the last bit of Forspoken. I'm going to go back into it. And they had done an update where they gave you the ability to reduce the time that Cuff, I was going to call him Cuff and Frey spoke to each other as you were running about the world.
Because it was a pretty loud complaint on the internet.
It was. So in the 5 minutes that I first booted up the game, I booted it back up, put the disc back in, jumped into it, restarted, ran let's say the equivalent of 100 meters, and the two fuckers spoke to each other like 5 times. 5 times in 100 meters. It was like knittering banter that just wouldn't stop. And the problem with it was, no matter where you were in the story, the banter didn't change. So there's a certain, this is the bit that really shit me.
Part of the story.
No, it repeated the same same things. The one that really got me was you discovered these.
Ironically,
challenge monuments, and it's like no matter how far through the mission you were or the main story, every time you initiated one, it would go, "What is this? I don't know. Well, just be careful." And that was like the crux of the conversation happened every time. But this was after I've done 17 of these. I have to do 20 for a trophy. It's like, you'd think the game would be, oh, here we go again. We're going to go back in time and do this mission thing. And it was just
sounds like almost like Harry Potter. I think we talked about.
Oh, yeah. The Merlin trials. Yeah.
Or the flu lady.
The flu lady,
always saying the same shit every time you go through. Yeah.
That said, though, once I had the ability to turn the conversation down to minimal, and then I think maybe once every half hour they had a little interaction that wouldn't be like combat based, because he'd jump in and say, "Heal yourself," and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm low on health. I'll heal myself." That makes sense. Turning that down made the game 10 times more enjoyable, because this is the thing. This is the thing that shit me off the most about the whole game. The size of the map. You both played Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know how big a map that is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know how much bigger this map was?
It's not. Yeah, I do.
1.3 times the size of the Red Dead Redemption 2 map. It is two and a half times bigger than the Skyrim map.
Oh, wow.
I'd play Skyrim 2.5 more times than I would to play that game again.
Yeah, you do New Game Plus.
And it is a sparse land. There's nothing except some
they
rocks.
fucked up that time between. What did we call it?
Getting from mission to mission, the amount of time you had to spend actually traveling. And the fast travel was far.
So we talked about this. There's a measurement in video games called like time between waypoints or time between
instances,
POIs,
something
like that. And Witcher had the magic number basically, and we talked about it in the context of Harry Potter actually. And it just sounds like this one is on the very, very low end of the spectrum.
Why the fuck it needed to be that fucking big, I'll never understand, because half of it was just nothing. It was literally just flat grassland. Like, it wasn't even an exciting landscape. There were things in the background which made it kind of like, if you focused on them, they were nice to like run past and thing. But the amount of time it took you to get from point to point to do X or Y was just too big, to the point where it actually became a chore to finish this fucking game, because I spent too long. And we talked about, obviously, like, fast travel is good in some games, but fast travel actually detriments. I fast traveled like the motherfucker. Like, I had to use fast travel because otherwise it would take me too long just doing nothing, running from point to point.
And then have to listen to it all on the way.
So can I kind of take it potentially take it in a different direction and just ask you a open question? Open question. There was a criticism leveled at this game very early on that it was woke garbage. I don't know anything at all about the game, so this is why I'm saying this is a genuine question. Do you agree?
No, it was just a really badly fucking written game.
Okay, cool.
In terms of the story content.
Yep.
There's a moment where your character has a fight with one of the main side characters, but 2 seconds later you can go and complete a side mission with them. And
but it's not heavy-handedly pushing minorities into the limelight as part of the story.
It was almost more a classic tale of the matriarchal society run by like witches. They went to war with another country, and no one's going to play this game because it's fucking dumb. Full spoilers. So the cuff turns out to be this demon from the opposing land, and it's literally using you to gain its power back. that
Right.
these 4 magical witches of. Let me remind you as well, the 4 witches are just the elements. There's the rock one, the fire one, the water one, and the electricity one.
Wow.
So, yeah.
At least
and then
it
the
went with
other-
electricity. That's new. That's different.
Yeah, but essentially that's like, the 4 elements of gameplay now. But yeah, so so that was the whole thing. And then you end up at the end of the game. So there has to be an end game for like post the last mission. The last mission, the boss was also one of the easiest fights the whole time. There were like small little offside missions that were 10 times harder than fighting the big bad in the end. And then at the end, you again you don't kill the demon for some ungodly known reason, but you trap him in a tattoo version on your arm, and then he makes it out like you're sworn enemies. So there's like a lot of like, I imagine for anyone who had a vested interest in this game, you would have been like, this is quite an emotional turn point where they turn on each other because you've been pals up to this. He betrays you, whatever, that kind of thing. But then you trap him and he just acts like you were before the final mission. He's just a little quippy occasionally. He makes a few more comments about how, well, this sucks, so I have to keep doing this.
That's just fucking
so
cheap
poorly,
storytelling.
so poorly written.
So it's not woke. It's just casually racist internet people talking about the fact that it was a she and black, because that's the only they seem to be the two extremes.
And her acting was, well, that's the whole thing. What we talked about before, it wasn't necessarily her acting, but it was the bad writing, the bad script.
Yeah,
obviously the direction behind it, because they would have done full body capture for it.
Okay,
yeah. Cool. That's the other thing. So obviously this game is built around, and the whole thing was like, it's a free running parkour style like traversal mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
The controls are fucking sloppier than a.
Yeah, you talked about.
I was going to go very graphic there, and I think I might stop myself.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah. It was the sloppiest thing. No,
it's a jaffle. It's a bolognese jaffle.
Oh, it's a bolognese jaffle coming out the other end. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Anytime they want you to use that movement in a fight, if you're close enough to an enemy and you try and do like one of your like moves to it, for some reason went, nah, fuck it, you got to do your close up attack move. And I was like, that's not what I was trying to do. Like I was trying to hit a ranged enemy, and then I've fallen off the map now. Like it was so clunky. Trying to climb was one of the most frustrating things on the planet.
So it's just a poorly written fucking game, top to tail, by the sound of it.
The worst thing on top of that,
it looked okay in the very, very early.
There were some very nice set pieces in it that you got to run through, but also the worst part about it was, and this is the thing I have against Square Enix. And listen here, Square Enix, you fucking dumb idiots. You can see the C word forming on that one. Stop making your enemies bullet sponges. It is not a way to hide bad gameplay. It is not. It just makes it 10 times more frustrating that I have to fire into the same character when I'm level 1, the amount of times I have to do it when I'm level fucking 50. It is not smart. It is not clever. It is actually just lazy fucking programming. And you should do better because you are a worldwide renowned fucking game studio. And I'm sick of it because you do it in every single game. The amount of times I played at a Final Fantasy game where I'm level 1 and I'm level 50 and I fight the same fucking enemy, and no matter what my build is, I'm still taking 10 hours to kill some fucking wolf that's walked in off the street. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's bad. And you're fucked.
Mic drop without dropping mic.
It's on a stand, so I can't drop it. But
I'm glad you can't, to be honest.
No. Anyway.
Okay, moving on from Forspoken. Sorry, Tom.
I think this is I think you mentioned it before, the perfect, just roll into the spotlight, because it's about companions and bits and pieces. So
is there anything in the trailer trash that we would encourage people to watch the trailer for?
Oh, maybe we'll come back to trailer trash.
Yeah, we can flick it at the end of this.
Yeah, cool.
You guys go. I need to cool down.
So yeah, please introduce our spotlight, because I didn't get the memo.
Well, I actually want to read Tom's description of it, because Tom's description of it was very good. Mine was just like, hey, let's talk about companions in video games.
And I wasn't even reading either of your
I was actually pretty proud of that. I was.
I'm ad-libbing this shit tonight, just saying. I'm phoning it in.
you'll definitely have opinions here. So Tom's
Got an
description
opinion about
was,
everything.
companions in video games and whether they are improving or a detriment to the gameplay experience
Okay.
or the playing experience. And obviously, everything Tom just spoke about there, the cuff and the banter and the continuous pointless banter and not the evolution of the banter was what was detrimental to the gameplay there. And we'll let Tom have a breather so he can come and talk.
I'm right in this now. Let's go.
Well, do you want to?
I'm in the zone.
So
I just think back to why do we need games now to have a companion? Like, I'm playing Spider-Man 2 at the moment. It's fantastic. It's amazing. I'm loving every second of it. But I don't need. I understand for, like, there are some points of it where it's world building where I'm swinging along and he calls MJ or he calls Miles.
You did it in the first 2 games.
Yeah. It's just like, that's fine, but it's just like, do I need that in a game? Like, I think back to the obviously the crux of and the highlight of my gaming history is always going to be Ocarina of Time. Link was fucking silent as the grave. He had interactions with people, but he didn't have to. You running through the lands of Hyrule, you didn't need someone talking to you the whole time. You just got on with your job and got it done.
I actually wonder whether this is a completely separate,
interesting
up late conversation about the differences and the potential benefits of sole single player character experiences versus group party experiences.
Okay, I can.
In terms of actual people versus in game.
In game,
in the context of this conversation,
having a party.
Yeah,
you're talking BG3 versus, like, maybe an army of 2 single player versus
or
just a complete solo game.
BG3 Peak is talking about as Baldur's Gate, we'll
get to that.
Companions in general, the gameplay with a companion, good or bad, versus a non-companion
gameplay with a team.
No, gameplay on their own. Like,
what's
I think it could be a three layer thing where you've got solo character versus
cover it all together,
character with a companion, and then character with a team. Because companion and team are a different thing.
It's a really abstract conversation because it really comes down to how the game has implemented your companion and for what purpose.
Yes.
So, you're talking about the bracelet, Vanguard, bracer, whatever. It sounds
also the source of how you fire your magic, if that adds some context to it.
Sure, but is it a protagonist? Does it propel the story forward? Is it a plot device? Because if you look at, like, the ghost from Destiny...
It was meant to be, and then the end game negated it.
Right.
That was the thing that pissed me off, yeah.
So you've got the ghost from Destiny, which is very much the plot device to explain the world going on around you. Dan, you never played Destiny, did you?
No, actually, I knew about the ghost, so I was going to bring
because
it
of the
up,
Peter Dinklage replacement.
Yeah, because that's exactly, and I knew that was.
I've still got my Peter Dinklage
the
ghost
companion within that
behind me. Yeah,
but it wasn't. It was important in cutscenes, but it didn't really factor that much.
It was also it was for a gameplay perspective. Well, but for a gameplay perspective, it was your resus. It was your resuscitation device.
Yes, it was. Oh, your respawn for everyone else, your res device. But by and large, it was a tutorial story driver. But once the cutscenes were over, it really didn't factor into gameplay on and on. Like, it
wouldn't affect your ability to shoot the gun.
No,
you use your power.
No, but it was a plot device, and that's why I call it a plot device, which is why I say this is quite an abstract conversation, because your bracer might have just been a constant companion as a way of filling dead air, as opposed to a plot device that just shrinks or disappears into the background when it's not necessary, like the ghost.
Which I would have preferred it to be. The fact that it was trying to fill dead air, I think it went too far.
And I can see someone wrote down God of War, and I'm stealing someone else's point.
Yeah, so there's several layers to this God of War, because we played the first 4 or 5 games. Sorry?
Sorry, I just saw Pete's note. Tom volume goes up. Yeah, it did.
It's my editing note.
God
love
of
it.
War has several layers because we had the first 5 games, I think there was, where Kratos was the sole character.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden
6.
we're put in this modern era where there's a companion with Kratos all the time.
Mhm.
And it is a plot device. It is scripted
Mhm.
and it is well written all the way through. And it pushes and it is
There's
character
two.
is
There's
character.
two.
Well, no, not in the first game. There isn't. There's only one.
Mimir
Is
is in
Oh, I
both
guess.
games.
Well, okay.
and he's very much an he
Yeah,
is
you
the-
fucking laddie. He's right
He's
there.
the
then.
ghost.
by
Yeah.
the time you get to the
he's the
second
dead air
game, there's then
filler.
3. So
He's the dead
yeah,
air
okay.
filler is what
but
he
he's,
is.
so when I say abstract, I mean like it really comes down to the developer making a conscious choice or an unconscious choice because they're a poor developer or they poorly developed a specific game. Because I don't want to rip Square Enix generally, but yeah, I mean Mimir doesn't fill a dead air. He drives a plot and he does.
Until you're in the boat, and then you're just
I was just thinking about that, but he does, I guess, fill dead air in that space, but at the same time, he expands your sense of belonging to the world that you're playing the game in.
he reads the lore so Sui doesn't have to.
Very true.
Yeah.
But it's
No, I get what you're saying.
He serves
Yeah,
a
he
purpose in
still
terms of
serves a
grounding
purpose,
you in
yeah.
that world.
And it does.
You
always,
were talking about what's his name? Starts with A.
Atreus.
I was going to say Atreus, but I kept thinking he's not part of Never-Ending Story. Anyway, carry on.
So, but the Mimir in both games, probably more predominantly in the first game, is filling in those gaps because even the people that have played all of the old games, they're all set in Greek mythology. We know that story coming in, and you're introducing people into a new mythology that they haven't experienced hundreds of hours of gameplay. So they're wanting to fill this out, and it's not mythological accurate, all of it. There is aspects of it in there that are, but they've filled in their own lore, and I think it's a very clever way that they've used Mimir and the boat, and they've very cleverly done things that they go, when you beach that boat, he goes, well, that's a tale I'll pick up at another time. And then you jump back in, and Atreus reminds him where he was up to in the story.
Which they do in the Spider-Man games as well. Like, if you run through a combat thing when you're on a phone call with someone.
Sorry, MJ. I was... Yeah.
What were you just saying? And then it starts...
They did that in the first game too.
Yeah.
I just think it's... To me, that's a different kind of plot device to what you described around bracelet. Or cuff. Cuff. I got to stop.
No, and 100%. Because the thing with cuff is it's literally just...
It's insecure time filler as opposed to,
but it's not adding
filler.
anything to the story. It's not anything to the interaction between the characters because.
But it's meant to. But it's done in a cheap way.
I don't think it was meant to because they did it so badly. Like it could not have. It's not like they just missed the mark. It's the fact that halfway through, when you have a camaraderie with Cuff, he still talks to you like
such a cheap name.
Yeah, but he still talks to you like you're an insolent child sometimes. Then the next time he's just like, oh, I'm so proud of you. You did that so well. It's just like there's no consistency either. That was the thing. It wasn't like a building of...
So it's poorly scripted.
Building of rapport like you have with Mimir and you have with Atreus and you have with Freya. It's not that. It's literally just, well, there's so much land to cover. We're going to make this fucking thing just fucking natter at you. And it's like it's literally like a fucking mosquito at night just hovering around your head. And I just want to... I hate him so much.
So a good comparison there, Tom, is the game that I've been playing, Shadow of War, that was made in 2017. So it's now 6 years old. And you are partnered up two very stoic characters together.
Yes. With
Celebrimbor and Talion in one person. So you are literally in each other's heads. Yeah. And there is no natter until it's absolutely relevant. You've got the very
because if you're running around doing shit, you don't want someone saying shit in your ear. That's the thing I think Square Enix entirely missed.
I think it is, and everything you've described about it, and Ed was talking about as well, sounds like a goddamn fucking nightmare fuel. It's just
when you couldn't turn it down, it was, and that's
Yeah.
the whole reason I stopped playing. Was just I couldn't deal with it anymore. Like it took away from the fun of the game. And that's the thing. When I turned it off, the game became 10 times more enjoyable.
And it feels that like the things you were saying about Cuff always saying the same things, that it kind of puts you in a static point of view, as where Atreus and Mimir's and Freya's comments are always something new and fresh. Even if you're going back and mopping up an area to get bits and pieces, they're always talking about something new. It feels like a growth of their...
Or saying something like, holy shit, we couldn't get here before. Why are we here now?
Yeah, and then that obviously triggers a whole bunch more of clever scripting beyond there, where they're going, okay, well, now that they're past this point, we need to introduce fresh dialogue. And of course, yes, we do get those repeated things in combat of health and watch out behind you, and he's whatever Mimir was saying in the second God of War, which was overdone combat vocalization of a companion. But their banter outside of that, I think, was incredibly well scripted, and I really put the same thing down to Shadow of War.
And I'd probably put it to the Arkham series as well, because you think about it, like especially a character like Batman, who's a lone wolf. Like that, there's no other way to describe him. But like putting him,
he is, but he isn't. But
he is. He has a team, but he doesn't need to use them if he doesn't want to. And there's also the thing around like, should it's been out for long enough. The Arkham Knight, Red Hood, been able to contact him directly to goad him or encourage him on to do some things like that. But,
he knows that the Batman's got open channels, and
again that was all story driven, and it added to the experience compared to taking away from it. The only chatter you really heard when you were like gliding around was some of the funny stuff the criminals would say to each other, like, and those kind of like conversations going on. It wasn't someone literally like just going on your head. And I know that there's been a real shift, and this is what I was kind of getting to with the topic discussion. In single player games, moving to they feel like you need that companion rather than the silent hero. And we've done the silent hero chat before, but fucking running around as a Doomslayer, like no one's talking to me. I'm having a good time. I'm just demolishing demons. Like I don't know if I need someone constantly like filling that dead space.
But for years and years and years, this wasn't even a plot device.
No,
it's only a recent thing. It's not a recent thing in the sense of it's not a new invention. But if it was included in a game 20 years ago, it was because there was a fucking good reason to include it in the game.
Yeah, well, because they had to sacrifice some of the tech to make that happen.
These days, it seems to be
too much power.
These days, it just seems to be kind of like shoehorned in, where it's not
100%.
needed.
Yeah,
but then you get those wonderful things like Red Dead Redemption, where it's set in the Old West. You have a gang, you have all these people at your camp, but once you're out in the wild, you're out in the wild.
So
it's only you.
Well, I think
Baldur's Gate 3 does that really well too.
Well, I was going to say Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
You really have to pee.
Of course you do. But yeah, like the same thing, like going into a team setting now, like obviously you're thinking Baldur's Gate 3 where you have a team at your disposal. But I'm thinking older games, Mass Effect and Baldur's Gate, you still had two companions with you. Yeah, Dragon Age was the same. It was always a team of 4 with your main character. And it's kind of like, but they still had good scripted things. There was a couple of repetition. Dragon Age Origins was the first one, then there was 2, and then there's Inquisition, which I still haven't finished. It haunts me to my dying days. But yeah, it was still that team based thing where it was like, yes, you go out with a team. You have a team. Obviously, you've got 4 people running around. They're not going to talk to each other. But it was meaningful content that they were saying. They commented to be like, it was either like guiding you towards like, oh, you should check over there, like somehow more cleverly scripted than that. Or it'd be like, in a combat situation, it'd be like, Yeah, or it'd be like a combat thing where it's like duck because I'm throwing a grenade. Like that's good team banter, which is But single player games, you don't need someone nattering in your ear the whole time. In a team based setting, sure, they're going to have natural conversations. I think that's valid, but I don't see why single player experience is really needed anymore, or needed it ever. Yeah.
If it's a plot device to tell a story, sure, we can let it through. Like, that's not a problem. As long as it's well scripted and well written and well executed. And High on Life does a great job of that. The gun interacts with you pretty constantly throughout the game, but it never nags you. It's never in the way. It's never demands attention.
Which I think was my fear around High on Life, was that the gun which was the gun was going to nag you. But obviously,
No. And the knife with the really bad South African / Australian accent. I can't tell what it is. It's kind of a Captain Boomerang in what's that fucking
Suicide
Squad, the original movie.
Or Ray Stevenson in the throw it back to him, and the other guys. Yeah.
It's that kind of accent. Which is quite different. So I was talking about Baldur's Gate 3. I think does a great job of, you've got 3 companions in your party if you're playing it single player, and they do drive the story forward, and they've all got their own stories, and it is a complex RPG, as you would expect out of BG3, and we'll talk about it later on in Are You Winning, Son? But they meld into the background for the most part as well. It's not like you're constantly hearing them talk to you. They talk to you when it's relevant and when their story beats relevant to their story.
Of course.
I just walk through a town, and you literally, if you're listening to the background din of people talking in this city, you might hear, "Isn't that right, Shadowheart?" And it's like, hang on, what just fucking happened? I just walked past this group of people and someone said one of my party members' names. And you go back and talk to them, and that party member suddenly becomes really important. And you can choose whether or not you, as your character or your avatar, gives her center stage, or you take the lead in the conversation. And so they're constantly in the background.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot to say on BG3, but and all of Larian games, but they're companions that will drive the story forward in a really involved and interesting way, or you can just fucking ignore them. They'll never be in the way. Anyway.
I think one more honorable mention here would be the Uncharted series, more so the later Uncharted games, like Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. There was times every stage you do has a companion, whether it's your brother, whether it's Sully, whether it's one of the other people that's in there. No, Nadine and that are in the Lost Legacy. But you always have someone with you.
Elise was the girlfriend, wife?
Was it? Was she with him at any stage in 4? It's been a long time since I've played 4.
It's been a long time since.
But like sometimes you would have the 2 of them there, and it kind of overlaps with this PS4 God of War series as well, that sometimes those background companions can be having a conversation with each other. I mean, how much do Atreus and Mimir talk to each other? Far more than either of them talk to Kratos. Like, Kratos doesn't want to be part of this conversation.
Also, Kratos literally just talks in grunts. Unless he needs
to. And that I can respect. But in Uncharted, Nate Drake is obviously super fucking chatty. And then you've got his brother and Sully and Nate all together in this fucking Jeep going across the open land. But then you'll stop and you'll go out to a point in the open land, and only one will come with you, or only you'll go out. So there's points in this game where you have a party with you in a semi-open environment that Nate will be at the top of a tower, and they'll actually yell down to the bottom to the people in the Jeep, and they'll yell up. And it's this dynamic voice.
Super contextual,
It's incredibly contextual, and it's just... But
is that scripted, or is that just?
Well, it's scripted when you get to that
point.
Building. Yeah.
But is it like an in-game cutscene where it's
where you're in complete control the whole time?
It's in gameplay as opposed to a cutscene.
It's in gameplay, so you're still doing things while your character
Because
Nate
you could walk away from that tower and
Yeah.
they'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
and the sound would get further away as you do it, and then you might come back to the point, and they go, "Oh fuck, are you right? Like, what were you doing back there? Did you find what you wanted to find? Because we're here trying to get up this fucking hill, and you left us here." And it's that sort of stuff, and I think Uncharted does it the best, but they were also the earliest to do it as well, and there's a lot to be said for that dynamic group companion story as to a solo story, as to a companion story that has no meaning. If you get what I mean.
100%. Yeah. There's no point having a companion nattering at you if it doesn't actually take you anywhere better in the story.
No.
Yeah.
Or character development or an insight to lore of the world or anything. Yeah.
And I think the first, actually, if I can think back, the first interaction of this that I can really think of in a video game, and I can definitely probably be proved wrong by this if someone wants to go through the archive and find this. I actually think the first time that I had like a similar style BG3, like 4-player character game, X-Men Legends, where they actually interacted like that. And that's the first time I actually found that like helpful. Are like, you bloody right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's the first time I actually found it to be a helpful thing. It's just like, I remember running around there and, you know, Jean would say something to Cyclops, who'd be talking to Wolverine, who'd be talking to Jubilee and kind of that kind of stuff. It was just like you had those 4 characters interacting, and it was the fact that it was for 4 characters who would interact because they. But it was adding stuff to the story at the same time.
That's and I'll get into BG3 more in Are You Winning, Son? After we talk about our next beer, but that is one thing that BG3 doesn't do. It does a brilliant job. Like it's pretty close to a perfect game for me.
Yeah,
my personal tastes. Like, but
that was a good crack. Sorry,
that was a good crack. But whilst each of your characters does interact with you as a protagonist in a really interesting and important way, they don't often interact with each other all that much.
Okay.
When they do, though, it's really well scripted, and I'm somewhat surprised they don't do it more often because
fucking Shadowheart and the
Astarion?
Githyanki,
the
Githyanki lady go at each other in my playthroughs. They would go at each other because
they're not in my party. Well, so Shadowheart's in my party, but Layriel or Layriel, Lasriel is not.
I think she's great. She is the right level of abrasive obnoxiousness.
So I've got Astarion and Shadowheart in my group, and they do occasionally interact. And Astarion's this. And for those that will never play the game, and this is spoiler free. Everything I say about BG3 will be spoiler free. He's this absolute utter narcissist, but he's also a vampire. What's the word I'm looking for? The thrall.
Horny fuck.
He's a vampire thrall. So he is a half. So he's been bitten by a vampire, but he's a slave to the vampire, basically.
Yeah,
which is why I call him a thrall. But he's this absolute narcissist. And he always talks to me like, how you doing, darling? Like he's got this really...
He's full fop.
Yes.
Full fop. Yeah.
Yeah. And Shadowheart is this straighty 180 down the line. This is how it is. I'm a religious fucking zealot. And their interactions are so rare, and yet when they do interact with each other, it's fucking hilarious because she's a sarcastic fucking bitch to him, and he knows that she's being that way, and he responds as the fop just to rile her up. It's great.
I mean, that's where the Mass Effect series and which is BioWare, and that's where that and Dragon Age excelled because the characters did interact in the background. But it didn't take away from what you were doing. It's like if you wanted to stop and listen to it.
It's just tapestry. Just to paint the
it's
picture.
Enriching. It's literally enriching the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just think, like, if we're going to close out on this, I just think, look, take us back to the golden age where look, I put my headphones on. I don't want to talk to anyone when I'm playing a video game, and I don't want my character to talk to me. I just want to walk around, do my thing, and just everyone leave me the fuck alone.
But if it is done, if you're going to enforce it, do it well.
In a single player game is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're doing a team-based game, I want the team to interact. If you're doing
Okay, so I've got a question for you here. So to close this out and actually go on your closing argument, we know the last Ronin Ninja Turtles game is coming.
Yes.
Do we want the last Ronin to have the other three turtles talking to him as he goes through the world?
I want them to do it in a Deadpool way where he's talking to himself as the other three turtles. Like a full
that's
psychosis.
Really dark.
Like full psychosis.
Really
yeah.
I'd buy that game.
Yeah. That's what I fucking want.
But that's
I'd buy
good.
the fuck out of that game.
Yeah. That is probably the best way that they could do it. If they really lean into the psychosis of it. Oh, yeah. And you have that voice, the same voice actor doing it in slightly different tones. And
Which just slightly different. And it's definitely him putting on the voices.
Fit the original content too, because Raphael was always sarcastic, but in a really kind of dark, like cynical kind of way. He was a cynic. Michelangelo was just like the trickster. Like they all had their own very much personality, very distinct personalities, but it was all essentially voiced the same way.
So, Pete, do you know who the last Ronin is? I'm saying all this very cryptically because I don't want to spoil it.
I do.
Okay.
I know.
I'm going to assume.
I know as well.
I'm going to assume.
I'm not going to confirm or deny whatever you say. So
I'm going to go
unless you want us to, in which case I will, because I don't care. Yeah.
Do it on chat,
and it'll be let's not spoil it for everybody else. Yeah, because it's pretty obscure.
I'm going to assume that
I actually wasn't surprised.
I'm going to assume it's probably Michelangelo because the obvious choice was Leonardo and as the leader of the Turtles. And Michelangelo was always the carefree, didn't give a shit, never took anything seriously. And I think it would be most interesting to make him the last survivor because it would have compressed his personality so much to see his three brethren die.
After this podcast,
you're just going to have to respond with yes or no.
Yeah, we'll I'm not going to do it now because that'll give it away. After we've finished recording, I will confirm or deny what you just said.
Sure.
Cool.
And here's the spoiler cast. No.
Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Should we go into beer number 4?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
You're up first, Pete. You did your black IPA slurp.
I did. So this is the Wooden Axe Brewing Co. Black Rye IPA.
I want to try this.
You should.
Yeah.
You should. It has.
Have you guys heard about Wooden Axe? Who they are?
No, but there's phase 2 at the top of the can. I'm not sure what that means.
So this is the second beer they've released in cans. I'm excited for them because they are a young pair of guys who won the Frenchies homebrew comp, and the first beer they put out was a nitro vanilla stout or something like that. It was really creamy. I just remember we had it in the shop, and it was like, so this is their second beer. So it's.
So we definitely haven't done these guys. We haven't.
This is their second beer they released commercially.
Yeah. Okay. So it's called Phase 2. That's the name of the beer. I said it was Black Rye IPA. That's the style description. It's a CDA, Cascadian Dark Ale. And it's 6.5%, and it's fucking spectacular. It is really good. There's an edge of bacony goodness. It's not strong and it's not overpowering.
A little bit of smoked malt in there.
Yeah. You definitely get it. But you still also get, excuse me, a bit gassy. You still get a really solid hop hit out of the IPA base beer out of it. That is a great fucking beer, though.
I will definitely hunt that down.
So
where'd you get that from?
I want to say Tom.
Nah, probably not.
Pretty sure I did.
I just tried to swipe and crease some text on the back of the can.
Don't worry.
That is one of the dumbest things I've ever fucking done. And it definitely recorded. I literally went, Oh,
Yeah,
can't
I
zoom
saw
in.
you do it. Yeah.
So the Untapped describes this as the rye malt lends a spicy zest, perfectly complementing the citrusy hop character for some big hitters, Citra and Amarillo. This is phase 2.
Good.
Yep.
It is a really solid IPA base, and it just has that dark malt body kind of creeping in. It's not overpowering. It doesn't turn it into something that it's not. It's just I would have said it's a dark beer influencing a IPA.
Okay.
And yeah, you do get a bit of a spicy hit, I guess. I'm going to give it a 4.25.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which is my highest ranking of the night, which is, yeah, really enjoyed that. Tom, what are you drinking?
Oh, a very bright screen is what I'm drinking. We've talked. I'm going to start this beer with. We've talked about copyright infringement in beer labels before.
We have.
We have. I don't think this has been sanctioned by the company, if I can show it to you. But I now understand more, given who I know is behind the collaboration. It's a collaboration beer. It's a double West Coast IPA using Chinook Cryo, Amarillo, and Simcoe. It's from Seeker Brewing, and it is the Boomstick Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I sincerely doubt that Capcom signed off on that. But also knowing Boomstick love doing some collaboration beers where they really just go, it's straight out copyright infringement. The beers they've done with Bracket, they've done the X-Men series. They did the Gambit one originally, and then they did the Juggernaut. To the point where the artwork was literally, if you type Juggernaut into Google, it was the first image that came up. That's what they used. Yeah.
That's a good way to go to jail.
And I'm pretty sure that color that is around Gambit's cards is probably copyrighted by
probably
Marvel as well,
as well as the gloves,
I'll be right
because
back.
it was the
two
that's Guile.
fingers.
That is 100% Guile.
Yeah.
You know how it is, because it says Guile right there. That says Guile on the can. Guile versus Hops, Sonic Boom Double West Coast IPA is a fantastic double West Coast IPA. It's delicious. It's dank. It's hoppy. It's everything you want. It's nice and bitter. But it's just like, there were 2 cans in the fridge that I wanted to grab for this reason, this topic around copyright infringement. The other one is a Deeds beer, which I will probably enjoy by myself, and it's called There and Bract Again, and it is literally the Numenorian tree.
I was going to say, it's Lord of the Rings reference.
It is a very, very on-the-nose Lord of the Rings reference, because they are part of the Bract brewing system, whatever that was. I just read briefly on the. I think it's potentially a yeast or hop, maybe a hop farm thing. Anyway, I didn't use it, but it has the ring script on the can. It's and we've talked about that before with some Deeds cans recently, where they did the can that was Back to the Future references, and it just had the timestamps.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how are you homaging, or are you actually like being creative with it? And it's just like, if you're going to be that obvious, like, are you being creative? Anyway, that's just almost like a screen grab printed onto a can. So that's look, it's I enjoy it. Obviously stood out to me. I grabbed it because of the can. It looked. I also grabbed it because of the style. If that had been a fucking Hefeweizen, I would have thrown it against the wall and then taken a shit on it. But yeah, look, it is a very good double West Coast IPA. I like the fact that a glassware company is also doing collaborations with breweries. I think that's kind of fun. That's a bit more interesting than just breweries collaborating, where it's like one brewer called another brewer and said, "Hey, you want to jump on this one with me?" And you go, "Yeah, sure. Do I have to do anything?" "No." "Okay, cool." Yeah. Chuck my name on the label. But the fact that they're a glassware company, and they make really nice glassware as well. Yeah, I think it's fun. As a double West Coast IPA, I'm giving that a 4.75.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
It
big
is
score.
deliciously
I'm also
bitter,
impressed you
and
managed to pad it out that long too.
I can talk some shit if I need to.
We spoke about things.
we
I
see
should probably
some
be a
shit.
writer for Square Enix for Forspoken. Fucking dogs.
Dan, what are you drinking, mate?
I've got another New England. Oh, wait a minute. It's called Mud Map Hazy IPA. It's got Galaxy and Mosaic in it, and it's exactly what it should be. It's a fruity tropical fruit bowl of a hazy IPA.
Mhm.
ABV?
You know what? No. This is absolutely wrong. This says it's fucking 50 IBUs. This is not anywhere in the vicinity of 50 IBUs. Is there a point in there?
No.
No.
It's listed in Untapped as 50 IBU as well.
There's not a chance in hell this is 50. not a anywhere near close in any way, shape, or form. 6.6%. It's just a great fruity IPA. It's just hazy IPA.
Great or grape fruity?
Great.
Okay.
Great. Tropical fruity, some appley, some melon, some peachy characteristics, apricot, nectarine, sort of that whole tropical fruit bowl. It's all just sort of amalgamated together. It's got a really nice mouthfeel. It's got a good residual sweetness to it. Just all up, it's really nice. It's not fucking 50 IBUs, but it's really nice.
Nice. Out of 5?
I'm like, I don't want to give it something in the 3s, but I don't think it's well above a 4. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
That's you, bro.
Tom, are you winning, son?
I am. I have obviously jumped straight into, and we're going to bring it out now because it's the most glorious thing on the planet. I have jumped straight into Spider-Man 2.
So big.
It's 19 inches of venom, baby. Peter comes off, which is fun as well. Emma hates that I can take Peter off because now he swings around the house and annoys her. He sometimes pokes her in the head when she's trying to make business calls. Because what else am I going to do with my time? I am apparently almost halfway through the game, and I think I've been playing it for about 12 hours.
10 minutes? Yeah.
It has been said it's a very short game. I'm not angry about that, though. I definitely still am spending time web zipping around New York City. New York City is very much more, it's so much denser in terms of like just the traffic and the pedestrian content of just people walking past and driving cars in New York. It feels more lived in. And we were going to talk about this as a potential spotlight, but you do get your web wing gliders. So you get to glide in this, and then you get into these wind tunnels and flying through New York City. It really makes me like think that is what a flying superhero game needs Insomniac to come in and give it some, some pointers on that. It feels so natural, just zipping through buildings, flying down a main street or something at full bore. It's the best. I think it's one of the best city flying simulators I've actually played in all my years. And I've played some games which did replicate, it was a Lego one, but like Lego Avengers, like you got to fly around through New York in Lego Avengers, but it was kind of like it didn't feel as fast, and like you got to make these like handbrake turns in it and stuff. I'd really love them to take on a Superman character or an Iron Man and fly through a city metropolis, or compared to the gliding of the Arkham series. It's
going to be so good to see what they do with Wolverine.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I'm apparently halfway through the main story. They've made some canon changes, which I'm not on board with, given my love of Spider-Man comics over the years. But I'm not particularly angry with them. I just think it serves the story well. It's good writing. It's very well written. The voice acting is brilliant. The it's so smooth. It's so fucking smooth. Literally, it's gliding butter over my ball sack. It's just that smooth. Like, wow.
That's
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's even though it's going to be a short game, like it's definitely one of the ones that it doesn't have a new game plus at the moment. They said it's coming in. I'd love to play a new game plus version of it just to go back and play it again.
yeah. I saw that.
I haven't finished it.
They
I
were
haven't
adding
finished
that
it, and
soon.
I want to go back into it again. Suits. I've unlocked half the suits so far. They've been cool. They did the same thing where you get to unlock the Into the Spider-Verse suits, and they play differently. Like the animation plays differently.
Still haven't seen that animated film either.
You get to turn that
haven't
off
talked
though.
about it.
You get to
We
turn that
haven't
off
talked about
though,
it
which
at
is
all.
fun. We haven't seen it, so watch it. We'll talk about it.
I haven't seen it either.
You get to turn it off. So if you want to run around as Into the Spider-Verse, Miles, or the one I've unlocked for Peter is the Nicolas Cage noir, like popped collar one.
Nice.
So, but you get to turn off the animation thing, so it's smooth. It's fluid and smooth, like as opposed to being a bit
Yeah, right.
jarring,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool. You also got once you unlocked the Nick Cage noir suit, you also got to turn on the power whammy for any suit.
Yeah, the bubbles.
The bubbles for any suit that you used. I have been definitely running around as if anyone actually cares, which probably no one does. Classic Spider-Man. So Peter Parker's in classic suit because you just can't get past the original. But Miles is using the 2099 Miles suit, which is kind of similar to the one that they have in the film, but it's hooded and still got the blades. So it's look cool. Anyway, I'm fucking loving it. Yes, I'm winning.
Tom, can I ask, is this a game that allows you to put a suit on and use the powers, but like have a cosmetic of another suit?
No, they've changed that from the first one. So the suits are purely cosmetic.
Purely cosmetic, so they don't have powers.
They don't have powers associated to them, which I'm not angry about because you learn to play as Peter and Miles. So you got, for your upgrade points, you've got a Peter Tingle. You've got a Peter map, you've got a Miles map, and then you've got a joint Spider-Man map. Yeah. I haven't unlocked the black suit yet. I know I'm close to
purely cosmetic.
Purely cosmetic.
The first one really lent into each suit having its own ability.
Yeah.
Which annoyed me because I have certain suits I like.
Yeah. No, this is purely cosmetic. So, for the special powers so far, obviously Peter's going to get black suit powers, but he has the forearms, the Doc Ock arms, the spider arms coming out of the back of his suit. No matter what suit you wear, they're his things. Compared to Miles has his bioelectric powers. So, okay. It's just a beautifully done city. The one weird thing, actually, and I don't know if you guys will find this weird. I found it really weird. I've been to New York several times, and I've been to New York since 2001 when obviously the 9/11 tragedy happened. The 9/11 Square isn't in the game.
Oh,
I think it's been replaced with a building.
In the game?
So I've
it's
webbed
part of
around.
The block. Like
I know it is. I've been to it. I've looked in it, but it's not in the game. But I'm pretty sure it's been replaced with a fictional building, and I don't know if that was. It's a weird thing, like because it was weird that also that I went searching for it, but I couldn't find it.
But yeah,
that I can understand if it's a city like Metropolis that is meant to be
fictional.
New York,
Yeah,
but
100%.
not New York.
That's
but
why,
something
yeah.
that's New York that's meant to be New York. That
so
seems
the
like
buildings
a really
they've added
slap
in,
the face.
which obviously
it's a bit of a ham-fisted way to deal with it, right? We weren't sure whether or not to put.
No, but I'm pretty sure there was something in about it in the first game. I think you could visit it, and like it is a quite serene memorial when you actually go to it in New York.
So you've been to the memorial?
Yeah, I've been to the square.
Right.
Yeah. But they've added in an Oscorp
some
building.
Dude recently fell down or some guy jumped into the fountain, like the waterfall thing, and then
broke both his legs probably.
I think he actually got away with one broken bone, and that was it. And it looked like he was pretty much dead. I don't know the full backstory. It was a Reddit post or a Reddit video.
So they've added in.
But it looks really.
You can visit the Wakandan embassy. You can find there's the Avengers Tower, which is one of the tallest buildings in New York. You can climb up. There's the Trask building. They've finished the Fisk building that was part of the first game, and that's actually the really cool thing. There's a bunch of things from the first game which were under construction, which are now completed because there's a time gap. And then there's one other there's the Oscorp building. But yeah, I'm pretty sure from my memory of New York, where the memorial is meant to be, there is a building there. And I'm not sure if it's like meant to be like this is what it could have been, or if it's just there was a gap in the skyline, so we wanted to chuck in this fictional one that's part of the story.
But if this is what could have been, that's some really weird ass shit. Like that's
I
don't feel like a game developer has a
no.
I'm not American enough to say what I wanted to say there. I'm just going to leave that out. That's weird.
Change history. Yeah. No. So it was.
That's kind of where I was going. Like an opinion. You're stating an opinion with a change like that.
Yeah, because not all
has
New York
a voice
would ever move on from that.
Yeah, I don't know that a game developer that's a big call, right? To say that we have a voice strong enough to declare what we would have done in this situation. That's big.
And then I guess that's the other thing for the other buildings. It's like there's one mission I've done which involves the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is obviously the building that is the Sanctum Sanctorum doesn't actually exist in New York. I've been to 122 Bleecker Street. It is just an apartment building. It doesn't.
I love that I would have guessed that about you.
Yeah,
and got
I don't know. One of the first times I went there, I was like, Emma, I'm going out for a day. I'll be back. I went and did a Marvel tour of New York and tried to find all the spots. But yeah, it's that is definitely it's a bigger building than it actually is, and it's taken apart like a part of a city block out. That's like, if you wanted to be completely accurate, that building's not there. But that's a bit different than removing a tribute and a memorial from a pretty devastating attack.
Yeah, I just found something on Game Informer. It's a pretty long article. I am not in a state to read it right now, but the title is "Why Is It Missing?" Spider-Man 2 is missing this major New York City landmark.
I mean, that's good that I remembered where it was, and I actually web zipped there, and it wasn't there. So, well done, the old Tom brain. Still works. Well done. Pat on the back. Anyway, Peter, are you winning, son?
Do you really want to go to me next? You know what?
Well, because he's doing research and you're sitting there scratching your chin.
You should, because if I wait any longer to talk about BG3, I'll be too drunk to fucking get a sentence out, because I'm in that fucking zone right now.
Are we setting you a time limit? Do you want me to set a timer?
No, I'm good. We actually need to wrap pretty soon, so I'll be quick. Baldur's Gate 3 is as close to a perfect game as I've ever played.
Well done, Larian Studios. Well done. 5 stars.
And I've got to do this spoiler free, both for the audience because it's a relatively new game, and Dan, because the early access only exposed Act 1 of a 3-act story. They've done what we experienced them do for the first 2 games, Dan. So they create this story that you actually give a shit about by the end of it. And that's, to me, that's kind of rare in a video game these days. You can get on board with a storyline, but actually caring about the outcome before it's revealed, that's something that not too many game studios can do for me personally anymore.
How far into the game, if we can ask, are you?
Yeah, so I just started Act 3.
Okay. So it's a substantial part of the story.
Yeah. And it's not a humongous game. In fact, I would say that it's probably a shorter game than Divinity Original Sin 2. I think I'm maybe 80 hours in.
Yep.
And I'm in Act 3, just gotten into Act 3. But the interaction between characters, the game mechanics, I talked about this very briefly last episode.
Yeah.
The game mechanics are such a true representation of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition that it exposes some of the flaws in the game mechanics that your dungeon master will typically gloss over. So, and this is actually something I've been giving some thought to in the lead up to this episode. a pen and paper RPG is not written as a game mechanic to be implemented as a video game.
No.
And so there are some
No.
aspects that the game developers know they can get away with because there's a human helming the way that it's implemented that you can't get away with if you implement it literally in a mechanical sense with there's no room for wriggle.
Do you
like
have
in a video game.
example of that without being
Yeah,
spoilery?
Yeah. So I mentioned last episode just very briefly the action economy and the just spell slot economy is probably an easier way to deal with this. So if you're a spellcaster as your main class,
right,
in the very early game you might get 2 level 1 spell slots and 1 level 2 spell slot. Your level 2 spell slot at that level in like the early game, so you're talking levels 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 12 in the game, by the way. Your level 2 spell slot might be a nuke that does significant damage to the bad guys. Your level 1 spell slots it's like slapping someone with a sword. But it's not a big deal.
Like getting a fly swat sometime and just go,
yeah,
you naughty boy.
Except you only get 2 level 1 spell slots and 1 level 2 spell slot per long rest. Yeah. And so going back and doing a long rest is a big deal. It means the day has ended. You finish adventuring for the day. And so the game mechanics as written, the rules as written in 5th edition, your DM, if he's a good DM, will tell you a story over the space of one in-game day that will come to a natural conclusion, and you sleep and you have a long rest and you get all your resources back. Whereas in a video game, you walk into a goblin random encounter, you kill 3 goblins and you need a short rest, which is kind of your midday. I had lunch and I got some of my resources back, but not all of them. And then I walked into a second goblin encounter and I killed 3 more goblins, and now my day's over and I have to end my day. And it feels really clunky in a video game. But
also, that's very fucking lazy. Like, you can kill more than 6 goblins in a day.
And yet, I'm not even making this up. And Dan can attest to this. When you're starting out in Dungeons and Dragons, that's an encounter. Yeah. And 2 encounters is a long rest. That's how the game's oriented. So I'm still at a point now where I'm level 10 and it only goes to 12. So the pen and paper RPG game only goes to level 20, and people have complained about there's no end game in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Well, the video game only implements the first 12 levels.
Right.
So you never actually get to that final end game.
Is that because you'll be too powerful at level 20? Or
what they've said is once you get past level 12, so if they were only implementing the 16 classes, I want to say off the top of my head, maybe 12 classes. Yeah, 12 classes. If they were only implementing the 12 classes, they might have gotten away with it, but they've said that with multi-class built into the game, where you can be a level 1 paladin or a level 1 warlock and a level 1 cleric and a level 1 druid, it starts to get super complicated for them to implement those rules. And so that's their excuse.
It's coding, yeah.
Which I struggle to believe.
Yeah,
the reason I say this,
I'm not buying it.
And the reason I struggle to believe it is most video games will have playtesters.
Yeah.
And a fixed limited resource to invest in testing before you release the game.
Pete, they released it in early access for 3 fucking years.
And Larian Studios also had the benefit of a decade of playtesting the game mechanics because all they've done is implemented the game mechanics. So,
yeah, it's different to a Divinity, but yeah, similar, same, but different.
No. What I'm saying is they've had a decade for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition pen and paper role-playing gamers to test the game mechanics that they implemented because they didn't write the game rules. Somebody else did. And so if it was complicated and didn't work,
someone's already done
Wizards
that.
of the Coast would have edited the rules.
In a pen and paper version.
Yeah. So it's really just telling a story. Anyway, I'm pissy and I'm way off track. The game, the actual story is fucking brilliant. And Larian Studios' implementation of the D&D 5th edition rules is true to form. It is very respectful of the original material. It adds its own spin on it. Maybe 5% of it's Larian Studios. 95% of it is Wizards of the Coast rule set. But the actual story is 100% Larian Studios, and you can tell. You're invested. It's interesting. The twists and turns are like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. You kind of buy into it more. And it makes you make some moral and ethical choices that really make you uncomfortable at times. And that was Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. I really enjoyed that. They don't do black and white. They do 100% shades of grey.
And early too.
Yeah. It will not be my first playthrough, I can tell you that.
Yeah. They make you think about what kind of person you are very early in the game. Which
to me that is the best encapsulation of the fiber that makes up Dungeons and Dragons. That's what makes them so good at telling that story, is because that is D&D. Yeah. It makes you ask yourself the question, who am I as a character?
To be able to be forced to make those decisions for yourself and a party as well, and how you interact with a party with a non-existent human DM is a big thing.
Yeah. And it's not a perfect game. My complaints are pretty limited.
Well, that's a fucking bipolar twist on what you said at the start of your fucking intro.
It's as close to a perfect game as I've ever seen, and I still stand by that statement. But it's not a perfect game. There's a couple of minor bugs in it, like mechanical bugs, where I've tried to enter a room that I was supposed to enter, but I couldn't because it didn't reveal that area, and I had to reload some saves and shit. So it's not technically perfect. And because they were so keen on exploring sex in a video game, one of my minor complaints is that all of the party characters and all of the extra characters that you could bring into your party, so the way they do this is you've got a camp, and
Please don't tell me the dog's in the camp, Pete. I'm very upset if the dog's in the camp.
The dog is in the camp, and the owlbear. Anyway. There's a bunch of playable characters that you can add to your party, and if you choose not to, there's 10 of them. And so you've only got a party of 4. So the other 6 hang out in your camp, and you can dismiss any of your party members at any time, and you can recruit one of your other party members. And it's the mechanical side of it is actually well executed.
Right.
But so many of my party members want to fuck me. It's not funny.
Well, that means it's a fantasy game then.
And I get I get why they implemented it, but this is the game that made itself one of its
Didn't they reveal that was an actual bug though, that they never meant for the game to be that
sexual?
Yeah.
It's so easily, yeah.
Well,
that's what they said.
I think they sent a fix because they were like,
I call bullshit because I've had to fend off, and I don't get into in-depth conversations with some of my potential party members because I just don't want to have to go through the bullshit. But of my 3 major party members that aren't the avatar that I built, 2 of them have now attempted to initiate a romantic relationship. One of them, if I'm going to romance a character, I've picked that character, and the other one I've had to fend off. But I've been put in this awkward situation where it's like, if I tell him that I'm not interested in the wrong way, I'm gonna break the character progression for this character.
Yeah.
That's, to me, it's not they didn't break the game. I just think there's just seriously, everyone wants to fuck me. This is poorly written in that sense.
Just take it out. It's not actually needed in.
Also, I think it's one of the weirdest things that a lot
games
of
is okay.
No, I think it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I hate when I have to romance a character in NPC.
Genitalia they put themselves on the map.
Truce, but I think romancing a character is the weirdest thing.
And I got to tell you, when you're building your character, you can pick from 3 different penis types and 3 different vagina types. And it's just like,
do you get my bend to the left one or not?
They got a
Actually,
slider.
I
Centered, left or right.
I think this. No, actually, I think that
tip or full shaft.
And how far down the shaft is it bent?
I didn't
that's what I
spend.
mean.
I didn't. That's going to be the next Larry in Studios game.
A vertical and a horizontal slider.
But seriously, like there's so the three vagina options are basically how much pubic hair you have, and the three penis options are circumcised, uncircumcised with a small amount of hair, and then circumcised with a large amount of hair, or something like that. And it's just like, do we really need genitalia in video games?
No.
Of course we don't. It's not a thought process. Any smart person would just say, this is not a space we need to sexualize. There is so much in life that is over-sexualized already. We do not need this shit creeping into video games.
If you need that as a person playing a game, just imagine the penis in your mind.
Just download.
Yeah.
No, so he does a decent job of dealing with.
Decent job of crafting a penis? Yeah, okay.
No. Gender identity does not mean sexualization. And I think they made the mistake of including both when they could have really pushed a progressive agenda around, okay, you're playing a character that looks like this. Do you identify as male or female? They could have dealt with that. Like the character obviously has boobs or doesn't have boobs. It's obviously feminine or masculine. And that's a separate slider to, do you identify your character as he, she, he, him, or she, her? I can understand making that distinction. I actually think that's a good progressive element to include in a video game, so that people that play a role-playing game, especially in this context of this type of game, play the role. You look like this. How do you identify? Because that's not the same thing. But do we need to include genitalia? No. Do we need to include sexual encounters in a video game? No.
It's the weirdest thing for me in RPGs. I hate that whenever I play an RPG, I have to.
Yeah, but this pushes that boundary.
Yeah, I know, and I've read all those things, but it's still this thing. Like, I think Mass Effect, I have to romance a character. I don't actually. Sorry, if I'm on a team, I don't have to seduce one of my team members.
Especially not if you're the general and the commander of the ship that everybody is going to war on. You don't have to do anything, and you are actually recommended don't do it.
So in Starfield, which I've abandoned completely, you get a permanent 5% bonus to experience.
For like 5 minutes more because I need to pee again.
Okay. But you've already talked, so we're going to just throw to Tom anytime I feel like it.
Hello, I'm Tom. Throw to me.
I will in a sec. In Starfield, you get a permanent 5% bonus to experience gain if you've ever had sex with one of your characters.
Oh, that was the same thing they did in Skyrim where you had a wife. You got a bonus for having a wife. If you played as a male character, bonuses.
To me, that's just like, why?
Because you're cool, Peter, because you've had sex.
It just feels cheap.
You know what's actually really good? Not getting any experience points. Well, look, sex in video games is a long and sordid history. I think back to...
Leisure Suit Larry.
Actually, I was going to go through the original PlayStation God of War games where you had a mini game for sex and it was a QTE experience. Yeah. And let me tell you,
but no one was sitting there fucking jerking the gherkin while playing that game.
You know, yeah. Oh well, not
while doing QTE. There's no fucking way you're going to pass a QTE.
No,
with one hand.
No. Well, logistically. You probably could.
Dan, what was your opinion? Do you think that you could jerk the gherkin while doing a quick time event in God of War 1?
For the sex mini game. Do you think you could do it?
What a horrible way to walk back from the bathroom. I just wanted to put him on the spot.
Many things that was going through my head.
You left us, and this is what we came up with.
You're talking about the first QuickTime event where he's banging the chicks on the
spa.
Do you think you could complete that mini game while jerking the gherkin?
Yeah.
No.
It's a two-handed fucking QTE, yeah?
It's not, though.
And it's a two-handed jerk.
It's not. It's
Tom.
It's definitely
for
not.
some of us.
It's definitely not. It's literally just putting No, there's too much thought behind
Anyway.
that. That's
just while our minds are in the gutter around this, you can actually pick your genitalia in Cyberpunk 2077 as well. 2077?
20,
20
yeah. 20,
Is that the right
yeah,
year?
yeah.
2077?
I think so.
You can pick it, but it's also got one of those traditional RPG character creation screens where you can turn your character. So if you give them a really long dong and you flick it really quick, you flick the character really quick, it like wiggles as well. So
It's got.
What about the
I
shape?
love
The
a penis
shape-
with physics.
well, you
Yeah.
can do it. Because I played it on PC, so you can just do it with the mouse. You can just hold the button that turns the character, and then just whip you can just whip the
So
mouse.
you finally got a helicopter penis.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just there's no place for it. Like,
No, it's
like there's
ridiculous.
so many.
It's
There's so many
ridiculous.
ways that we sexualize.
Also, I just think
and
about
a younger and younger
character,
age too.
character creation, like models. Like, I don't need to shape my eyebrows. I don't. There's so many dumb things get put into character creation
I
models.
wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't minimize that because there are some people. There's actually a surprisingly large amount of people that you see on Reddit, which is not a representation of the general population, but it is a
Also, not a
representation.
representation of the best part of the internet either.
But is
So,
it?
you know.
But it is a cross-sectional representation of people on the internet. There are a lot of people on Reddit that say that the best part of playing an RPG game for them is the character creation. So I don't agree, but I will respect their space.
Yeah,
and,
I'm with
and
you,
why the
yeah.
fuck not have a huge amount of variety in avatar creation? I just don't think that needs to.
I still think the best
genitalia.
thing is in an RPG needs to be the story. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The role-playing game
The-
needs to be the
Yes.
story. Yeah.
Best and the
And-
best
and
thing
that's-
in character creation is loincloths. Male or female loincloths. That's all
And
it
that-
needs to be.
Skyrim underwear. When you loot a corpse, you take the armor off. They've
Yep.
still got underwear
Yes,
on.
they've
Yeah.
got underwear on. Yep.
Yep.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
It's not needed.
Anyway, Tom, are you winning, sir?
No.
I've already answered that, so I think it's Dan's
Oh.
turn.
Hey,
How
this
did we end up
motherfucker
with
here.
no notes for you and
Yeah.
all
I
these
talked about
notes already?
Spider-Man for about...
You
Am
did.
I winning,
Just
son?
put 'em
Yes,
in. Sorry.
motherfucker. I'm
Dan,
winning, son.
are you
No,
winning, son?
You know what? No, I'm not.
Fuck you.
Because
I
I'm
literally just tried to pass on to you. So don't yell.
I'm sad, Dan, and I didn't get to play Return to Moria, but
I have my own thoughts about Return to Moria that I've addressed on this podcast already.
I think it's probably going to be bad, but I still bought it. It was $55, half price for a game here in Australia. So digital, full digital. Let's see. If I get a couple of weeks out of it, I get a couple of weeks out of it. But I'm on a full Lord of the Rings kick at the moment. So I remembered that Shadow of War was a free PS Plus game many, many moons ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and chucked Shadow of Mordor on the PS5, and god damn, it's actually a really good game.
Dan
Once
asked me some very, very cool Lord of the Rings questions, which I really enjoyed.
I saw
answering.
some of them, but he stopped in the general chat pretty quick. Or I
No,
might
did
have been.
It was like me and Tom talked for like 3 hours or more.
I got out the companion.
But not in my
Like-
channel. Not in a channel I got to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in that channel. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Was that
I
today?
I got the
No, no.
companion out. I got
Yeah.
the Jay Tyler.
It's been a
companion
pretty
out.
rough week for
Yeah.
me.
If anyone
Sorry.
ever wants some Lord of the Rings questions answered, also you can like and subscribe and then DM me. But at the same time, you should go by the J. Tyler Lord of the Rings companion. It's the most.
I don't like
in-depth-
your level of subtlety. You need to slam that shit home. Like, it needs to be clunky.
Like and subscribe, or I'll come to your house and cut your mum. Is that better? Fuck.
I might have to block some of that. Carry on, Columbus.
I said I might cut her off in traffic. I never said that I would actually physically. Yeah, but anyway, the J. Tyler Lord of the Rings companion is the literal encyclopedia for Lord of the Rings. It's the most beautiful book in the world.
Yeah, right.
And as Tom pointed out to me, that the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games take a side step from the actual Tolkien and Peter Jackson lore. But I love it. I love
Just the Tolkien
Celebrimbor.
lore more than Peter
Yeah,
Jackson.
Celebrimbor.
Yeah,
Cool.
Celebrimbor. You haven't played either of the games, Pete?
No, but he was in Power of the
No,
Rings of Power.
no. That is a weak. That is like adding a liter of water to 5 mils of milk. Weak. Like that is how much Celebrimbor is watered down.
I actually disagree because the Rings of Power is
There was a subtlety to that character.
Is more akin to the actual Tolkien Celebrimbor.
Yeah, so you're saying that,
liking the action adventure Celebrimbor that you get. That's an angry fucking wraith.
Yes, he's an angry wraith. I do. I very much like Celebrimbor and Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, and he's such a good. No, he's a bad balance to Talion, who is the virtuous, honourable ranger,
Gondor ranger. Yeah.
And all you've got is Celebrimbor in his fucking ear that he can't get rid of, saying, "Get the Palanthea." And he's like, every 2 seconds, he's like, "Get the Palanthea. That's the only thing that matters. Fuck these people. Get the Palanthea." Like, nobody else matters.
Palantir, there's no.
Palantir?
Yep.
There you go. I've much more invested in the Nemesis system this time around because you really need to upgrade your armor and equipment before you move to the next segments in Shadow of War versus Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see where you get with. There is one particular deviation from the lore that happens in the Shadow of War game, which you will stumble upon, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. And I cannot wait for your message about that. Just being like, is this real? Okay. And I'll be like, absolutely fucking not.
Okay. Well, I'll keep going on that because it's just, I think I guess that kind of makes me happy, but kind of disappoints me quite a bit as well that they couldn't have made it work within the world because it is such a cool setting for them to do.
I think it's also inventive though, but I also I liken it to Force Unleashed. Force Unleashed should never be canon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and people who are called out.
That's a good call.
Yeah, people who called out for Marok in Ahsoka to be Starkiller. I was like, absolutely fucking not. Starkiller should never be involved in the actual Star Wars canon because he was too overpowered. And it's the same thing with Talion. Talion and the Celebrimbor. And the way they fuse together and the Assassin's Creed way that they take on Mordor should never be actually involved in the proper official Lord of the Rings canon. Yeah, it's a fun side journey.
Yeah, and just on the gameplay elements, the dialogue that they give to the orc captains, like just incredible. That you can get ambushed by people that is their play style. Like you might be fighting one captain or a group of orcs, and all of a sudden you'll be ambushed by this captain because that is
it's a roving orc band. Yeah,
it's a roaming orc, like, or he's a thief, or he's an assassin, or he's something like that will ambush you or come in like that. They have their own set dialogue. They'll speak to you during an execution. You'll defeat them once, and they'll come back again with
the Nemesis system. Is amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible. The other thing is it's Batman Arkham free flow combat style, but the brutality of it that is introduced.
Have you come across Bruise yet? Have you done the Bruise missions yet?
No.
Oh, wait till you come across Bruise the Shark. It's okay. It's also a wonderful, weird Lord of the Rings Finding Nemo cross reference that no one ever asked for because there's this very ochre Australian sounding orc, troll orc, who's named Bruce, who is meant to be Bruce the Shark from Finding Nemo.
Yep. I'll let you know when I get there.
He's fantastic, yeah.
The beating death animation when you get hit by an archer and you hit the quick time event to escape death.
And that sound
is exactly the animation that it is of Aragorn knocking the arrow away or dagger. There's something that's thrown at him in Fellowship.
Lurtz pulls the dagger that Callahorn gives him out of his leg, and he throws it at Aragorn. And it was a actual misstep in the film. Fuck you, I'm doing this. It was an actual misstep in the film, and the guy who played Lurtz, the Maori actor,
Urukai.
He unfortunately threw the knife, not intending to throw it, and Viggo Mortensen actually deflected the fucking knife, and that's why the sound is so good.
Oh, because it's real, and it's an iconic move as well because Talion does exactly the same movement with his sword deflecting from the outside. So it's really built in because Talion's a ranger the same as Aragon was. So I love it. I think it's great. And that's not the same, but they're spoken to be.
He's more like Faramir. He's a ranger of Gondor as opposed to a ranger of Arnor, which are a different species of people. Okay. Rabbit hole, anyone?
That's a conversation we need to have tomorrow. Yes, but it's great. It's a good action game, and that's what I wanted. I wanted something that was fun and in the Lord of the Rings world. And Caliburn Ball's awesome.
I hope that Return to Moria brings you more Moria. What did I say? Moria.
Yeah,
Moria.
An extra syllable there somewhere.
Return to Moria.
Still let's not. Yeah, because you keep saying it wrong. Let's not get started on that because I'll go into a full thing about how it's wrong. As
Moria.
The last thing, if I can steal the spotlight again, and I'm going to embarrass the fuck out of Dan right now, but I need to show it. You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
This is the end of this episode. I hit 100 platinums, and I was very proud of that. And unbeknownst to me, this fucking ginger fuck made me a wood and aluminium. Black aluminium.
Aluminum.
Full trophy, which I'm holding up to the camera now.
That is fucking hardcore, man.
It's one of the greatest things I've ever been given, and I have a dog that I love very much. It literally, I think I might love this more than Jasper. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Don't say that.
Well, no, he wakes me up in the morning, and I really don't like that. This doesn't. So
it's fucking spectacular.
It is. If you can't see it, it does have engraved in it in fire and ash. It does have the 100 for my 100th platinum. It's the Skyrim. It's the Skyrim logo. It's the Imperial Skyrim logo. It is literally the greatest thing I've ever been given, and I can't stop staring at it. It lives on my desk now. I want to hang it up next to where I play PlayStation so I can. Whenever I play, I look at it, but at the moment, it's literally I'm just holding it at my desk, and it's literally the new heirloom of like if I have kids, that's their inheritance. That's all they're getting.
It is like it's obviously I haven't seen it in person, but it's obviously.
I've shown this to actual like people who work metal for their living, and they've been impressed. That's the thing that really gets me about it, and for something that I wanted to do
it's cool to see the evolution too. So Dan made me a stand for my samurai swords, and it's got it's a wooden stand in my favorite kind of wood.
It smells so good.
Yeah, and it's good to see the evolution and the progression. It's cool.
But the thing for me is like I only started doing platinums for myself, and to have someone like you, Dan, who
doesn't understand the whole platinum chasing thing.
It's not even that. Just someone. I didn't ask him to do this. He did this out of the goodness of his own heart. And yeah, you're an absolute prick, but still, at the same time, this is literally the greatest present I've ever been given. So I need to yell about it on the podcast. I can't get enough of it. I love it. I love it deeply, and it is literally the greatest thing that could ever happen to me as a gamer, and as a person I get to very greatly call my friend, which is you. So thank you very much. I love that so much. I love it so much, and I needed to yell about that on the podcast.
And you made it very easy for me making Skyrim your 100th.
Imagine if it had been Forspoken. Imagine if you. Imagine you have to craft something for a game that I fucking absolutely hated. Obviously, I planned Skyrim as my 100th.
Thanks so much, Dan, you bastard.
Yes. Thanks for reminding me of the thing that I fucking hate.
Shit,
No. Obviously, Skyrim is the most has such a special part in my life, and but this is more important. This is greater than the game. This is
good.
I'm in love with it.
Good.
I don't love you, but I love that.
It's good.
I'm not going to try and fuck you as one of Pete's companions if that makes you feel better.
Okay, thanks, Astarian.
I
think on that note,
Thank you.
We're gonna
Yeah,
call it an
on
episode.
lovely.
That's an episode.
emotional note. Yeah,
Shitty intro, shitty outro.
fantastic
No,
outro. What are you talking
actually
about? I
don't-
literally
I
just
don't
poured
have a
my
shitty
heart and
outro.
soul into that.
No, I
Yeah.
wasn't. I was bookending it. I wasn't talking about what you just said, but I don't have a shitty outro. So
Tom does.
Spooderman, Spooderman
Wait,
does
Spooderman.
whatever a Spooder
I actually
can.
literally wrote it in the notes as Spooderman. So
Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes your Spooderman.
thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.